Alright guys, welcome back to the Imaxit YouTube channel. I'm your host JD. If you're new, please do smash that like button, share, and definitely subscribe. If you are a member of the channel, keep on doing that great work. We really and truly appreciate you. Alright, so this is the aftermath, and I think we're gonna have to break it down like 3-4 times, like 3-4 separate videos. So we're gonna start with 7 things we've learned. So I will be coming with other things along the way, people. Alright, so just give me a little time. I just found a little time in my day to make sure I can come to you guys, and then I have to go back off, and then later I could return for you. I know a lot of you guys might be sleeping because obviously you guys stayed up last night to watch the game. So big up to you lot that stayed up and everything. Massive respect. So anyways, 7 things we have learned. We're gonna start by going through what Concacaf wrote as to how they saw the game, and then I will give my analysis on the game. Before we get into that, let me just give Kevin bless up, Martin bless up, Chris Smith bless up, and after 30 minutes I will open the stream so people can come in the Discord and give their take. Dre, big up yourself, thanks for being here. Warren Webster, massive respect. What up man says, hello JD, sadly neither of us is going to the finals. Yes, that is true, but we are going to discuss it. All right, we are going to discuss the aftermath. All right, yeah man. All right, so let me go to the Mexican side because we have to give them their respect. Congratulations to Mexico. I thought that they were one of the best teams, and based off yesterday, they pushed themselves in the top spot. Panama goes into second spot. Coming into this round, Panama was the first and Mexico was the actual second based on performance. So both of them that we said was first and second, those were the persons advanced. It was not by any mistake both of them advanced, because that's how the order I have actually told you I saw them going, and majority of the pundits worldwide, they have said the same thing, that Panama looks the best out of that round. And we had all said it on this channel. So one thing I have to love these channels that I do have, people are very much educated and they are very much unbiased and they are very much tuned into reality. All right, I can't say that for a lot of people, but definitely on this channel, they are tuned into reality, because everyone said that Panama was up there, and in my 7 things, Panama will come up again, because this is going to be beyond just the CONCACAF Gold Cup, guys. It's going to go into CONCACAF itself, so don't worry yourself. So anyways, let me go through it right here. They said Mexico muscle way into final with commanding win over Jamaica. Would you say it's a commanding win? Let me know. I think it was a dominant display and a very easy game for Mexico. All right, Las Vegas, Nevada. Mexico are through to the final of the 2023 CONCACAF Gold Cup thanks to a 3-0 victory over Jamaica in the semifinals on Wednesday night at the Allianz Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Henry Martin struck inside the first 90 seconds, while Luis Chavez fired in a free kick golazo, and then Roberto Alvarado tacked on the late score to lead the way for L3, who will be seeking their 9th Gold Cup title on Saturday against Panama at Sophie Stadium in Los Angeles, California. We will be doing that one on the Imaxit channel. All right, Mexico enjoyed a dream start, and not even 2 minutes ticked away before they held a 1-0 lead. And Jesus Gallardo, which I thought was immense, being a fullback. We talked about his ability to actually come forward and create. Received a pass on the left flank and looped in a cross that was controlled by Martin and hammered into the net. Jamaica looked to get back on level terms, and a proven effort from outside the box. Damari Gray in the 24th minute, Mexico goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa get low to make a save. was not a really a strong shot, to be honest. That's one when time Damar Gray cut in, beat the player, but he could muster the strength on it, and I thought it got a slight deflection. We were talking about that goal. Chavez made Jamaica's comeback task a lot tougher just before the half hour mark, as the man that scored a sensational free kick goal for his country in the 2022 FIFA World Cup. We talked about that on this channel a lot. All right. Repeat that feat with a left-footed laser that curled perfectly into the top left corner of the net to make it 2-0 lead Mexico. With just a half remaining and down 2 goals, it was imperative for Jamaica to have a strong start to the second half, but the Mexican defense held very firm and prevented Jamaica from penetrating into the area, forcing the Reggae Boyz to try their luck from the wing to no avail. Jamaica began to commit more numbers forward in hope of pulling a goal back, but the Mexico spine of Ochoa, centre back, Cesar Montes and Juan Vasquez, plus defensive midfielder Edson Alvarez off the bench, toward any movement toward goal for the Caribbean side. I would say Cesar Montes and Vasquez, they were dominant throughout the game. They made Mikel Antonio to work for every single thing. Mikel Antonio still showcased that he could be a problem, but as what I've said, people never got close to him, so it was difficult for him throughout the day. All right, and we can't blame the people to not get close to him, because it was a pressing and a technical battle from the Mexicans, and we are not, and I repeat, we are not on that level. We are not on that level. We are trying to achieve what they can do. We had told you before, they are one of the top 10 pressing teams in the world. In the world, not in the CONCACAF, in the world. Their pressing metrics are very, very much elite. All right, yes. Mikel Antonio's right-footed shot in the 75th minute of a Mexican turnover amounted as the best scoring chance of the night for the Jamaicans. That is true. That's the only little gap we got, in which they gave us that opportunity for us to capitalize on it. And Mikel Antonio, they pushed him to the right-hand side from my hand, and he couldn't get muster any strength on it. All right, he couldn't muster anything on it, people. All right. All right. So people, as you come in, make sure to share the video, hit the like button, and definitely subscribe. All right. Yeah. And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it for the third goal. It was done. We couldn't stay in line and all of those things. So I want to get into my 7 things I've learned. All right, I want to give my 7 things. What you can do as well, people, just give your 7 things as well. All right, because we're going to go deep in this one for the 2 hours, and then later we will be back again. All right, yeah, man. So people, as they come in, just hit the like button, because one thing you know, I live in reality. I don't live in Cocoland, and I can only tell you what I saw and evaluate things based off that. All right, I can't go around no other story and metric. All right, yes. All right, so let me move on. Let me move on to let me know if you're getting a lag. Let me know if you're getting a lag, people. All right. Let me know if you're getting a lag on the video. All right, let me get right down here to all of the comments that we have missed so far. Kevo says Mexico will beat Panama una hard in a no. Kevo, Mexico definitely going as the favorites, but we have to give Panama a fighting chance. Chris Smith, big up yourself. Trying to make it. The problem was the early goal. And what I can't understand is why the defenders, as soon as the game started, you had a defender run up in attack. The first goal, we had one defender. All right, Pimp. The 478, massive respect to you and the family. All right, said Jamaica had the third place, fourth place playoff against the US. I don't see that down, so I'm not going to say that is a factual thing. I don't see it. I was trying to look if you have a game, but no, I don't see anything like that. All right, so I don't know what to tell you as to if we have a next game. All right, we will figure that out. But based on the information on the screen, I don't see nothing like that. All right. Marciano says Damari Gray brought a next level in the Jamaican team. Yes, that is true. Real baller, big up yourself, massive respect. JD, it's what you said and others said from the beginning. Our squad needed midfield, and you said it 1,000 times. Until we can't get a midfield, until we can get a midfield, we won't be able to beat the best, beat teams who defend well. 100%. Tom, big up yourself, Tom, man. Massive respect. And we're keeping this one respectful, all right? Because I would say we're not going to be cussing, because what we know what we're seeing in football, and we are that educated in football, so we know what's going on. All right, war start already? No, man, no war start, none at all. No war start, none at all. And this stream is not going to go down no war path. All right, we did well. We still have third place to play for. I don't see any third place schedule. I only see the final. JD, you was right about everything you said yesterday. Yeah, but we don't want to be right, but we want to make sure people understand that there's a step. All right, so I'm going to go, once I read out the comments, I'm going to go through my 7 things. All right, I'm going to give people a chance to call in, give their take as well. All right, yes, that's via the Discord. We're going to try that. All right, yes. Claudine says, up Imaxit, call the finals and retain your prediction crown. Your analysis is spot on as usual. Thank you, Claudine, for that. Massive respect. Case, bless up yourself, Cranky. How you doing, man? Hope all is well. Willow, bless up yourself as well. Kush in the morning, massive respect. I'm nervous to go back to Greg Baralta, like I don't know what we're going to do. So what up, man? The American not feeling good. Shakpo, bless yourself. Let me get into my 7 things, because I don't want this to stretch out and people don't get what I made the video on. All right, so let me make sure to get the information. Let me make sure to get the information. 7 things we have learned. Let me start with right here. And what I'm going to do is to provide you exactly what we had on the field, so at least you can follow the conversation. We are going to provide you with exactly what we had on the field, and I will use my system here so we can change it around for you, so you can get to see exactly where the problems arise at times. All right, so you can, so we make sure you understand everything along the way. So we had this is how we set up the team. It was a 4-4-2, just the same. It was not a 4-1-4-1. All right, yes, it was a 4-4-2. But as you know, Mikel Antonio, put the 10 right here. Leon Bailey right here. He was a little bit more right hand central, right hand. Right. Let me change this to the 10. The 11. All right, so the 11 right here. I'm going to put the names of the players so you can follow what we're doing. You had Andre Blake in goal. Deshaun Bernard. And then you have Damian Lowe. Amari Bell. And you have Javine Brown. So that's the actual defense line. You have Joel, Kevin Lambert. You had Bobby Reed. Demara Gray. Leon Bailey. And Antonio. All right, so we know that we have our players for the start so far. So this is how it looks, guys. This is how it looked, how the game started, because that is what we wanted to play. To be honest, that is exactly what we wanted to play. All right, yeah. So let me change the wings. Let me adjust them. So Bobby Reed over here, Lambert was over the right hand side, Liam Bailey was more like this, Amari Bell over here, Deshaun Bernard over the left hand side. So you are Damian Lowe with Javian Brown. So this is how it sets. All right. Yes. Let me make sure to maximize it so you can see properly. All right. So this is the all right. Change the pattern right here. All right, and the color so you can see properly. All right. So this should be perfectly fine for you. All right. So this is how it looks. All right, this is how it looks. I'm gonna play through the actual team. Let me put the team that we had on the field, which is Mexico. This is the Mexico game, and we're gonna pull it up here so you know who they started with. So you could follow as well. I'm gonna put it maximize on the screen. You have Guillermo Ochoa in goal, Vasquez, Juan Vasquez, Cesar Montes, George Sanchez, Gallardo. Jesus Gallardo. He was the man of the match. Easy well for me. Oberlin Pineda, Luis Romo, Luis Chavez, and Uriel Antuna with Eric Sanchez and Henry Martin. Those are the guys. It sets up in a 4-4-2 here on the screen, but it was not like a full 4-4-2 because Eric Sanchez was an attacking midfielder on the field, not necessarily a striker. So, like how Leon Bailey took a central forward role in our system, he took an attacking midfielder role. So, it was more of a 4-5-1 system to make sure they can capsize our 2 in midfield. All right, so let me go back here with our 2 in with our 2 to 3 in midfield. The first thing we did, we always said that we are big and strong, but you realize that all first and second chances in the first 30 minutes, we pretty much lost those battles. So in the tournament, we failed on first and second chances. So that is effort from the players then, because the coach can't teach professional players to stop missing first and second chances. So we keep on talking about we're big, fast and strong. That is something that we need to take out of our vocabulary conversation. We are big, fast and strong because we ain't big, fast and stronger than nobody else on planet Earth. You get me? Because we lost every 25 minutes against St. Kitts. We lost the first and second chances against St. Kitts. Yeah, we're gonna case. I know why I've set it right here. I know why I've set it here. Case. It's not because we set up in the 4-4-2 is what maybe that's what the coach wanted, but we're gonna get to it, Case, and we're gonna give everyone a chance to come in as well. I'm just trying to get my 7 things apart. So the first ball, I'm gonna try and get half time. I'm gonna get half time and see how let me see if we can get a stats on the first ball. All right, so that will be duels. All right, aerial duels first. This is 20 in total. We had duels won 26 to 34, and we won 9 aerial duels to 8. But they won 34 in total, so 34 to 26. We are the bigger team as what we said we go in, so we should not be losing the duels. All right. Yes, we should not be losing the duels in the game. So there's first and second chances. Get them up the field faster and more controlled. Because it's not just the actual get up the field. It's the control. It's a control in the midfield third. Right here between our defensive line, defensive, which is the base between the defensive third and the midfield third, which you know it's the attacking phase for them. Right here, they got too much balls. The first balls headed down right in that direction, and they got it off the rip. So every single time they won the first ball right between Joel Latibodier and Kevin Lambert, and they got it. So Chavez and Luis Romo got the ball under control inside our defensive midfield third right at the edge there. If you're going to lose ball right here, open my cursor, right here between the four players, which is our strength, which is Latibodier, Lambert, and Dishan Bernard and Lowe. If you get people under control right there, you have no chance winning any game when the team is more technical, actually better than you as well, and they have pace and they have the level that they can reach. You can't reach because we don't reach that level as yet. We have to be honest to ourselves. So that is what kill us right there with the first ball. Every single time they won it, and they got it under control with the second ball as well. So the first and no man, case. That's why I said let me finish my side, because on the first ball, on the aerial one, what I'm talking about was the first ball and the second headed down. So even when we won the first ball, they are in position to pick up the actual part in the second ball as well, inside behind our back line. So Cranky, just hold on, I'm gonna give you the chance. I'm just running through mine. So first and second ball, we lost too much in the first half. It was very much easy for them to start creating, not from the back, but creating from the defensive third, at the end of their defensive third, the end of our midfield third, to go into our defensive third. That's where they started almost all of their attack. I go and look at the game. It was very easy to see. Almost all of their attacks started right there. So if you're going to give them almost 2/3 of the pitch to start their attack, and you are all over the place, it's going to be almost incredible for you to actually stave them off, because now you're going to get Joel Latibody or Kevin Lambert on the back foot trying to chase back, and then you have Dishan Bernard and Damian Lowe already squared up against them. And obviously you know that it's going to be a challenging, because they have 4 running behind. You have Pineda and you have Jesus Gallardo doubling up as well. Jesus Gallardo, he adds the speed. Pineda adds the creativity. So he cuts inside to come at Damian Lowe and Lambert if he drops back. And Gallardo stays outside because he has the pace and the ability to whip in the ball. And that's how it actually works right there. So that is for one. All right. So that is for one. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop the link for the Discord so people can come in, because it looks like Cranky and Marlon is already here. I wanted to go through my 7 things, but obviously I will give them the chance, and we might have to chip in the rest throughout the show. All right. Make sure to hit the like button as you come in. If you saw anything that you think is not accurate, you let me know. But that is my first point there. All right. Let me go and open the post-match talk. All right, so this is the link for the post-match talk, people. This is the link for the post-match talk. We're already in it. So I'm going to just share it, and then I'm going to pin the link. So if you want to join the show, you just go straight in the post-match talk. It's very easy in the Discord. It's going to go straight there. All right, let me make sure to pin it. And if you just come in, guys, we have 150. Please do hit the like button. Please do share. And thanks for everyone that actually supports our hard work that we do put in these videos, because you clearly realize that we are watching games and we are trying to break them down as accurate as possible. All right, let me try and pin it right there. All right, so the link is pinned, people. You can come straight in the Discord. So first and second ball, I would say we failed on. So that is the first one for me. Yes. The second one, I think what happened? I think the system that we are playing, it's not suited for that yesterday match. And I don't think we converted to try and play to nullify them while getting our attacks running. I think that's where we have a big problem, because in our system, what we do, the function is in our systems, we try to stay safe as possible first with the center backs them. And most time they don't advance directly to meet the 3 in midfield. The 3 in midfield comes from Bobby Reed coming in, or Damari Gray coming in, but they are not coming in to stay. They are coming in to stay temporary and use it from a dribbling base to go forward to make the attacking midfielder. And then Leon Bailey will drift wide, and Mikel Antonio will drift wide. And that's why when they do have a shot, they are already off off balance are coming in from the wide, so they can't really get the shots off easier. So I think even the system itself sometimes weren't firing as to how it sets up, and that make it more easier for Mexico to give them the opportunity and still counter us right after that, because we're going to get a half glance shot that we can't have it. It's not a high percentage finishing chance. They are willing to take that risk. Then if you lose the ball, they're already on the counter because we're out of shape and we're exposed with the two in midfield. And if one step out of the midfield, we're left with only one, because we are only using a decoy attacking midfielder, and we try to get it back to a 4-4-2 as to what Cranky said. But it goes in transition was the problem. So in transition, let me show you what I'm talking about. In transition, this is how you see Mikel Antonio push wide, and then you will see Bobby Reed or one of them, and this is how they try to set it in transition. This is how it actually looks in transition. Or you can switch it around with Bobby Reed, and it swings around. It swings around when you have Damari Gray come inside. And Bobby Reed would stay out here, and Damari Gray, or vice versa with me, Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey was not over the left hand side so much. Maybe one or two times. He had one time when he tried to hold it up in the corner flag, and it went out for a goal kick, because he saw two persons coming, and he never made the proper decision. He never set his body properly, and it forced to give away that turnaround. But that is how they were working the system, as to what I saw. If you saw anything different, please let me know right there. All right. And I've opened the chat so people can come in, give their take. Second point you made is excellent, which highlights that we didn't have a plan B or a plan C. Yes, that's where I'm trying to allude to at this point. You get me? Yes, we are trying to play our game, so our confidence level was a little bit too high, and how we talk like we are going to give them the real respect. I don't think we showed them that much respect as to the plan that we had. I don't know if it's the goal that went in that really shatters all of our thing, and then we just divert back to what we know, which is wing transition, and just try to go at them and stuff. But I think it never really worked out right there. So the confidence that we had in this game was over the top, over the top. You get me? Over the top, and we should have showed them more respect, but it's tough. So that is my second point. Third point that I'm going to give you, we are nowhere near their fitness level. Nowhere near their fitness level. Nowhere. And we have to understand that fitness level does not come to say that we are playing in the Premier League and those players are fit, because no, you have team chemistry, and once team chemistry build and you can possess the ball, you have a different level of confidence and a different level of fitness. So fitness in the mind as well. Our level of fitness was just not up to them. We couldn't get close to them. So our fitness level was not good in this entire tournament. Not just the people, not just this game. Our fitness level was not good, none at all. And we learned it from the Guatemala game. Because I came here and I said on a stream that I don't know how we won the Guatemala game. But that is the truth. I don't know how we actually won the Guatemala game, because Guatemala, I'm very sad to tell you, but Guatemala was the better team. The coach said it was 50-50, but Guatemala was the better team. It was our goalkeeper was the man of the match. Aside from the goal that scored, please tell me which other chance we actually created in the game. I'm still waiting. And they control all three. They control their defensive third, and they actually control the midfield third, which is Guatemala. So it was a reality check to come. And the surprising thing, the coach admitted it in the press conference, but yet still started with the same problematic situation. So that begs you to ask if he actually doesn't believe in the other players that he brought. Because if you're saying that you have a problem, and then you have people that we deemed can do better, but yet still don't choose them, so it's either you're stuck by your system, or you're saying that the players are not good enough. So like Daniel Johnson, those guys are not good enough. Maybe that's the thing, are you stuck by a system? So either you're stubborn, or you're saying the players are not good enough. And then now you have to go back to, then why you select such a roster then, if you're going to say that? You get me? Yes, so it's a lot of questions left to be asked, and people, we are not we're not beating nobody. We are still giving them a 6 months as what we have said. We are still giving them a 6 months as what we have said. But we have to still point out these things because it happened in the entire tournament. All right. The coach has been a great recruiter, but an awful game manager. That's what Case says. Let me move. Let me see if in Case the way I have the Discord. I don't know if you know how to join it. You just click the link and you're going to be directly in the Discord and you can speak freely right there. All right. So that's something that I think we're going to have to watch closely over this time. All right. The selection. I think we need to have a better selection process. I think it should come down to only the coach. Only the coach. I don't want to hear him telling about he come here to see a team before. No, we hire you as a coach. You and your coaching staff just pick the damn team. Period. Pick the team right throughout. You make all the final decision. Call everybody. Make sure they're available or not. If they are not available, you don't call them back. Simple. Yes. Don't left it down to anybody else. So we can blame you if we don't get the right people in here. You get me? We don't want to hear about a secondary man said that they called him and then he said he doesn't want to come or this and that. No, you don't leave it down to them people in the JFF to give you final decision. That's one thing I'm going to tell the coach, all right? Yes, don't make it come down to them people and forgive you because them man did believe in our quota system and them still believe in them quota system, all right? Yes, them still believe in them quota system and yeah. So you're not going to get majority players if you want, if you leave it down to them. I'm begging you, please. So make sure it's your job on the line, it's your reputation on the line. Stop trusting these people. Stop trusting these people. All right, do your due diligence to get whoever you say you want in. All right, because I heard that people said players said they never wanted to come, and the player literally said the opposite thing again for the fourth selection process. People are saying a lie. People tell upon them. You get me? And then publicly come out and say a lie them and tell upon them with selection again. You understand me? So that is the next point the coach need to figure out. He need to realize that Jamaica, Jamaican stuck, especially local people onto the island. I'm not talking local people generally, talking the local persons them got the job in the JFF. They are stuck in their ways that they want specific players in the team and they don't believe in this bag of Englishman coming because that's exactly what they said and they don't hide their feelings. They are publicly telling you in the newspaper, on TV, in the chats on YouTube, everywhere they're telling you. So other people inside the JFF still working with them and they're going to do everything to make sure you can't get your best squad. So you have to make sure, this is a lesson learned from the coach. If he believes that he never got the right players then, he has to go out and make sure he gets his right players and make sure he's in contact with them. You get me? Because the last time he never got Greg Lee and Greg Lee team, Greg Lee club come out and say, listen to me, they never send nothing, they never contact us back, they do with us unprofessional. It's this the paperwork is there, people. You can go and read it for yourself. The club themselves come out and burn out Jamaica for the Federation, say they are unprofessional and the way they do things. So and then for Canada Boys Clark is the same thing. They never get no paper to the Canada Boys Clark in time. It's not true. It's not true. They are telling you. All right. They came on my channel, stated what they have stated, and it's not true. All right, because they sent it in late as well. So you want to make sure the coach, let me give the coach them credit. I think we have made some improvements. That is true. We have made some improvements. That is definitely true. But we can do better. We can do better. We can't just say because we have made some improvements, that's it. We can do better as well. All right? We can do better. And the coach have to look back at that as one of the failures them in this tournament by not getting his best team. And that showcase that Jamaica still have a way to go. My next point, which is going to be tough for you guys to swallow. We are not a top 4 team in the CONCACAF region. Stop fooling ourselves. We are not a top 4 team in the CONCACAF region. Because if we think we're going to be here disrespecting Panama, we are not better than Panama. And if we had played Panama, we would not have beaten Panama as well. We would have not beaten Panama as well. It would have been the same thing of the last 2 games we played Panama as well. All right? Yes. Football is not just putting people under paper and we get results. It need time. We have quality players, as what I've said before. We have quality players, but we have a reality check. We are not a top 4 team in the region. We are not a top 4 team. You get me? So we have to make sure we get the best players then. We can't mix team in order to get things done. We don't fool ourselves. You get me? Because what we are always trying to do is use a lean way thing so we can funnel 2 man and pick 2 man for give them this, for try promote them and them stuff there. We can't do that. We don't have the luxury there. We are not a big team. We are not a big team in this region. We are not a top 4 team in this region. So we have to pick our best team always, right down to the 23. No free spot for nobody, no helping on, because we are not that top team that we say we are. It's not true. So Mr. Algrimsey, you have to approach it that way, because other people spending more money in their federation, they have better leagues in their country, and they are still getting players of quality, and they have more chemistry, and they have coaches around for years. So Panama, Canada, United States, and Mexico is ahead of Jamaica. And what happened? What happened at this point? What happened at this point with Costa Rica? Costa Rica got a chance to actually embedded a few guys, embedded a few new guys. And I'm telling you, if we make Costa Rica settled in the Nations League, we are not going to be ahead of Costa Rica as well. Which I don't think we are ahead of Costa Rica either, you know. I don't think we're ahead of Costa Rica either, but because they have changed and brought in Contreras, Alcacer, Aguilera, Bennett, all of those guys came in, they're trying to fix it overall. But if we make them settle back in their system, we're going to be even further down that pecking order. And you know where I'm leading towards. It's 3 natural teams qualify for the World Cup again. And if I'm telling you that we're not better than Panama, and we are looking like we're not better than Costa Rica either at this point. And then you have 80, which I told you that 80 game was because it was a hard group. It was the group of death. Don't fool yourself. All of those teams in the group of the death, Honduras, Qatar, and 80 would have qualified in Jamaica group just the same. Don't fool yourself, people. Don't fool yourself. So all of those teams are going to come back. So for the World Cup qualifiers, we have to get it together as well and pick our best team. All right? Our best team give us a better shot because we might not gel as fast as well. All right? So that is the next reality check that we need to figure out. We need to stop this overhyping thing and just give the man them time and actually pick the right team. You get me? But the overhyping thing actually give us the chance to seep in players freely in the team. And then say, oh, we can afford to add somebody else to the team. And that's what they do. They know what they're doing, people. They know what they're doing. So they send you this message as if we're a big team and this and that. So they can seep in players and do their little dodgy behaviors always. No. Pick the hardest team. Everybody to 23. Everybody. All right, everybody. Next, when we make the first World Cup, then we can put on people after. But no, it can't work. We are not that big. All right. Please don't compare Jamaica to 80. I have never compared Jamaica to 80, but I don't think Jamaica is better than 80 either. Aldian, just listen to me, man. We are not talking about players on damn field. We are talking about putting together. Me tell you, said the group of that, if they had come over in this group, they beat Trinidad and beat actual St. Kitts as well. So let we stop face that false hope. Let we stop the false hope and let we fight for something and fight for the best Jamaican team. All right? Straight up. I don't go around corner and pretend with people, brother. I don't go around corner. All right? It's a reality and we need to face the reality. Don't wait until we fail and next time down the line, then we come with the next madness again. It's like we just take everything because we love hype up ourselves. So we take it. We make people deal with us anyway because we love the hype. And then we jump on the next hype the next time. I'm here for 4 years and all I want to do is jump from one hype to one hype. Aldian, be real. Be real, man. Be real. And this don't put no AD in it because I talk about AD and Suriname and them stuff there. I'm talking honest like a concerned Jamaican personnel that's actually in football. All right? We are talking like that. And I'm just saying, make us fix it before we get into the next competition. So please comprehend what I'm saying rather than just try to jump on me because I cover other contents. You get me? Actually be educated on what I'm saying because I'm telling you the truth, and then you have to get the harsh reality, then you come back and said I was right rather than forcing. Remember, we can do it together and we can force these people to change, you know. You get me? And we make them actually get English players here, you know, and them make it up, you know, and we make them it up, you know. So if we actually come as a collective, some people and fight for the rights, um, and fight for the rights, we are going to get it done. So if we keep on finding an excuse to say, yeah, oh, my pride, oh, we're better than Haiti, we're better than Costa Rica, we're better than Panama, I want to JD, then the people will get what they want to keep on seeping people in the team. You get me? Then you have people like Issa. That's who Issa is. So he's not going to change. He's just one of the egotistic Jamaicans them that can't change. Period. You get me? They can't see the vision. They can't see nothing else more than the hype. And that's what people use to fool us every single time in life. Remember me tell you that? You know, just don't depend on the level of brain cells as what I am thinking as. Believe me. That's what they use, manipulation, because they just come and tell us say you're good. All right, and then they get to seep in people. But maybe Issa them want people from local in the team as well, because I heard how they talk, and that's what they want as well. So they think that's the way it works. But for me, the best team works. That's what I've said, and I'm done with that conversation. I have two more people inside. I'm not even going to entertain any other conversation. People can say what they want to say, but I've already see the problem. Jamaica is the problem. We can be better, but Jamaica is the problem, period. Because we have too much egotistic people and too much know-it-alls. You get me? Too much know-it-alls and too much egotistic people, and then people use the manipulation to get what they want, period. And that is just the truth. And when the reality comes, it will be too far. Yeah. Let me bring in the man in the chat. We have Tom. Thank you, Tom, for joining. Marlon, thank for joining, and Kuan, thanks for joining as well. Yeah, man. Tired of talk to them people, yeah? With them bagger ego. Oh, everybody better than Jamaica. Listen to my words, man. Listen to my words. Or you know what I deal with me then. Simple. Simple. I'm too egotistic, man. And can't face reality. How much time we not gonna lose? How much time we not gonna be better? And then say on the better. And then hype up somebody for 3 more years. Oh, yeah, man. Come, Marlon, come on, go ahead and go on and Storm. Make sure you get your mic all right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Me know me a fight for 4 years. Me there fight for this, you know. For actually get the best player in the team, you know. You get me? Yeah, man. Me tired of it, man. Them use that manipulation because some of them actually in line with what's going on the field. Some of them actually agree with what's going on the field. Because, believe me, some of them actually think them can take them local players and them better than the other man them coming in. Them actually believe them mad this year. Them actually believe them mad this year. That's why them are right for them things are going. But me not gonna get too, because I said I'm giving the coach time, so I'm not going to get over the top. You get me? Yeah, man. Continue, Koan and Marlon with Tom as well. And you're going to give and a take. You get me? All right. So we have Marlon in it. You're Koan. Koan, we're not hearing you, Koan. I'm not hearing you.
Okay, yes. Bless up. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah. Jovan said, before I go, Jovan says, so JD, you do think AD is better than us, and I think every Jamaican should know that we don't have a well-coached person. No, listen to me. When I said that I've already said that Jamaica are better, good players. We have good players in different positions, but the politics in Jamaica football always will set Jamaica back. Period. You get me? Period. The politics in Jamaica football always will set us back. And that's what I say. People keep on not listening to me. They only hear words. They only hear a word to trigger them. They're not even hearing the context of what I'm saying. All I'm saying here, people use false hope to sell you things. And because some of them people love God and bright and know it all, them suck onto that and then confuse the other masses them. When we should have fight for a collective effort, that we should be using the strongest team and stop pick team and put our man for different purposes than actual football. That's what I'm talking about. Me know more things than what me actually say here. You get me? Period. But a lot of them in line with the foolishness and make up them story as well. Go ahead, Koan. But I'm not gonna make this lose my temper in this thing, you know. Because I'm kind of tired of some of them, man, you know. Yeah, man, kind of annoying people, man. Um, go ahead now, Koan. Go ahead now. Who you give the man of the match last night? I think it was Jesus Gallardo. You know, Gallardo. He ran the show the entire night. He ran over the right hand side. I think they're gonna give it to Chavez because Chavez scored a worldy free kick. But Jesus Gallardo was the man of the match for me. Marlon, yeah,
Indeed.
man.
Who I spoke? Which two players I spoke about yesterday?
Gallardo and Chavez.
And what did I say? I said, don't give Shaq any free kick 35 yards out or anything closer because he's been kicking him out our competition as a come close. When they got the free kick, right? I said 2-0. Right? I said 2-0. Right? So when I come out and say stuff, man, when I come out here, I said we are way behind Panama. People asking, oh, how come we're way behind Panama? Panama have a team. We might have better players, but they have a team. And that's what a person need to understand. The team out there is a different thing than having
But Marlon,
players.
that's all I was trying to say, you know, as a team,
Right?
you know. As a team, we don't have a team. And that's all I'm trying to say, you know. Yeah, man, you come in and talk about, oh, everybody better than Jamaica. Brother, I want to stop selling the narrative, man. Go on the dunce channels, them, they live on the life, man. If you don't want chat up on the mouth, man. I want to tell you, man, that's a problem, you know. Them not on a purpose, man. Them claim to say they're medicated, but them not no purpose. Them just hold on Jamaica with them bag of bias and can't talk the truth. Yeah, man. And that's the problem, Marlon, man. And that's exactly what I'm saying here. The man are a team. We never come here and tell us say Liam Bailey, Mikel Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, Panama have better ballers than them. We never come here and say nothing like that. We never come here and say nothing like that, but we said the man is a team. And we said Panama was the best playing team coming in. And Panama win the game against the United States. The second best team, I said, it's Mexico. Mexico embarrassed Jamaica. So am I lying? Me not glad for be right, but at least reality is there. So when stop spin the goalpost, man, and go on about the business, man. You know, stop spin the goalpost and go on about the business, man. Go talk on a bag of fairy tale Cinderella stories every day. On bag of fucker in the talk. Sorry, my language, man. Tired of them, man.
Mexico worst performance in the Gold Cup.
No, man, no. Sorry about that, Mr. United. But sometimes some of them come with them look at dodgy behavior. Me have to get that because some of them come, them act like them know too much every single time. You know, and it get annoying, man. You know, so some go on about them business, man, and don't come back here, man. Come in a too like them either, man. Go ahead, Marlon. Go ahead, and everybody else, go ahead.
So it's the same thing I was when I was on the prophecy, right? With Guna and we're talking. I said when persons are saying that we're gonna give Panama, I said don't be naive by the attack that we have, right? If the attack doesn't get the ball, right, they cannot do nothing, right? And it's the same thing. You must say I said yesterday when they say we're big, strong, and fast. I said, but guess what? Biggest player, they have the fastest player, right? They transition the ball faster than us, right? The players are more technical. And the same thing I was saying the same. I said yesterday, and I said, how can we go and high press a team that has mastered high pressing, paying out of it, right? It doesn't matter how poor Mexico has been performing over the past couple months. They have a system already, and as I said, JD, if it was Coca of the team, we beat them.
Yeah, that I can agree. That I can agree. It would have been different because the last.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Continue. Go ahead. I'm just trying to get cranky in.
Yeah, Jimmy Lozano is a player, is a coach that make all of these youngsters came through, right? From under 23, he was the under 23, and everybody in the team come through the under 23 team. So him, when I saw that the fire, I said, guess what? The Gold Cup is there for them. And what did I say? I said, before they even play a ball. Because a coach is coming who knows the system, a former player, right? So what he implement it. Come on, Cranky, big up yourself, brother.
Bless
Oh,
up, Marlon.
Cranky
How you
reach.
doing?
Okay, but Cranky make me a fight to get him in, and he reaches here.
JD, I feel like I was going to, I don't know what I was trying to do, but so much rigmarole just to get into your
Sorry
forum.
about that.
Wow.
Because it
Like trying to get to the US, trying to get a visa to come to the US from Jamaica. It's painful.
sorry about that one. But should the
Thank you.
sound
You
come
come like
through better, and everyone can actually have a dialogue. Sorry about that. That was my fault.
Okay.
Cranky, when you come in the system, like you're going through Hong Kong airport.
Yes, it's probably worse than Hong Kong airport. Trying to think of an airport that's equivalent. I can't think of one actually. I can't think of one. But I'm here. I'm here. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, man. So finish up your point, man, and make Cranky got Cranky. No, but Cranky, you had something saying in the early part. We want to hear from you as well, so we can get everyone on the forum.
Can go on.
JD, I was on another stream last night, and I'm sure some people won't forgive me for some of my comments. So I'm gonna manage. I'm less emotive today, so I'm gonna manage what I say. Be careful what my perspective is, even though some of it will not change. So go ahead, Marlon, and my perspective.
Cranky, you can go on, man. You can go on.
So JD, I've been listening to you about aerial balls and midfield and a bunch of different stuff. All valid points, right? But to me, there are a couple of things. One is we should be proud of the team. That's the one. I understand that we're in a weaker zone and all that. About lack of forwards, why we got knocked out by Mexico, right? And in fact, we were better in Mexico when we played against them in their own backyard than we were last night. All three goals came from the same side of the field. Even though I think the first goal, frankly, was just us being not organized. When you are going forward offensively, you should always do it in abundance of caution. And really think about, if I lose the ball, am I set up to recover the ball? And how is the other team set up on set pieces when I'm the one who has a set piece? Because I have to think about what's the worst case scenario. So those things has to be thought through when you are in those situations. And we got burned. Like my personal team, now I'm going to get burned that way under Wenger years, because we just thrust forward everyone and two of the defenders ran each other. So the first goal, even though we were in a bad situation when they won the ball, if you look at the ball when it went out wide to the left, no one went towards the player. Everyone had their hands behind their back, because in today's football, you don't want to get the handball in the box. But the most important thing is to close down the ball. That didn't occur. But strip out all of that. The other two goals were unfortunate. Lowe's foul, and he had a challenging game. And the third goal, when he got beaten, but more importantly, our two defenders rushed to the same person and leave a man behind him because they lack awareness. But here's where I think we struggled toward the tournament. Not only in midfield, but I said this last night on another stream, which I was running, which is we are 4 Premier League players. I could even call them 4 starters for quite a bit, even though Bailey was coming off the bench for Aston Villa. They scored only in one game, so they only scored in 20% of the games. They only scored in 20% of the game. None of them scored in any other game toward an entire 5-game tournament, which is concerning. I understand that they had a couple of assists, and Gray made the team in the first round, and he made the tournament team in the second round. But they only scored in one game, JT, against a Trinidad team got 6 from the US, and who were poor and should have gotten 8 or 9 from us. That's concerning. Secondly, my coach, even though he's a brilliant recruiter, and I said that in the chat, he doesn't game management well. He reminds me of Arteta, and sometimes Pep, actually. His game management to me is atrocious. The decision-making is atrocious. And people are going to say, well, Cranky, you in your living room, I watch football. Act like you're a coach. Well, I can do that because I'm in my living room watching football. I'm not out there. But I have a good view of the field and a good view of what's happening. And some of his changes were concerning. So Bobby Reed and the Golden person were having beyond awful nights. And they were still on the field.
You said the golden person? Jesus God.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
Awful nights, JD. Awful nights, and they were still on the field. and you're wondering how can you be on the field?
So
Now,
currently, I don't want to interject,
go
but
ahead, go ahead.
how can you be running a stream? Because you say you're running a stream and I am running a stream, and I can bet you are saying the same thing as me at the same time, and then you have some sheeps in the comment section making excuse. How can me and you say the same
look,
thing?
JD, I said
And
it, JD.
all of them sheep is
Yeah.
not all of them, because a lot of people in my chat are saying him for come off of the field. You understand me? But you have some specific people. Me don't know how them brain wire so. Like them can't see nothing aside from them can't see everything aside from reality.
So when you say something, JDD, people think you have an agenda against certain people, but it's not an agenda. You called it like I see. So I was in Atlanta 2 years ago with Cataract and them, watching the person up live closely. And I have enough big enough sample size to say that the player has to get better. The player tried to beat the player yesterday when he had a 5-yard, I called this out in the game. He had a 5-yard 1-2 pass to make. He tried to beat the player and he tripped and hurt himself. That's unacceptable. You're the coach inferred about, we got to play more as a team. People are playing individual football. No, there's one person playing individual football on the whole team. It wasn't a team playing individual football. It was one person. Now, Antonio may try something sometimes, but at least he got free kick out of them. The other person wasn't getting anything. And he made one good pass for the entire 94 minutes yesterday, which is a ball he picked up on the right and played over. I think it may have been to, I forgot who he played it to. It was a good pass. That was it for 94 minutes. Second, JD, if you're game managing the game, JD, and your two of your players only scored in one game, in fact, Bobby Reed hasn't scored a tournament, you got to make some tough decisions. I think Whisper could not be worse than those two players. And people may beat me that Whisper is young and Whisper this and that. I watched Whisper play in the tournament. He's fearless. He got a free kick inside the box yesterday. He came on for that. Every time he came on the game, he does something. Whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, he looked like someone can create something. The other players don't look like they can create anything. Bobby Reed and Golden, Mr. Golden, don't look like they can create anything in any game. And that's part of my frustration. But there's some positive takeaway from this whole tournament. One is, I heard no negative news coming out of the camp, which is an imperative because we know we have a collection of players from different backgrounds, from different countries come together. And if that camaraderie is so tight and their cohesion is there, that's a great thing because a lot of them will come back for Nations League, supplemented by some other players coming in. And that will help.
1 second, Frankie. Tom, please mute your mic. Mute your mic, Tom, please. RS, I have to mute you.
All right.
Yeah, mute your mic and then you can come in whenever you want. Just mute your mic.
So I will cut my soliloquy short with JD by saying this. We need competition. First of all, we need to improve the team overall. It's not just midfield. We need competition for places for the four up top.
All right.
We don't have competition for places. Those 4 players pick themselves and they play every game. And as I said, they only scored in one game. We need competition for places. And by the way, the competition is coming. If my understanding is right.
Yes.
Midfield, yes. And as a coach, you got to also think about, can I convert? Because in today's football, we seem to have an abundance of forwards and not quality midfield. That's why people like Declan Rice and Billingham are going for over 100 million pounds. Quality midfielders seem to be hard to find, especially CDM. Maybe you can convert a few of your forwards who may have the capability like a Gray to play in the midfield. If you think about Joey Linton, for example, who played for Newcastle. Yes. If you think about Iwobi as a player for Arsenal, play forward as a winger, playing midfield, you may have some forwards like a Gray, who was the only player on the Jamaica side last night who looks comfortable under pressure.
Yeah, agreed.
Nobody, when he gets the ball, 4 people around him, he's like, you know what? I'm in Sunday school, I'm relaxed, I'm not stressed. I just find an outlet. Every other player look uncomfortable when surrounded by 2 or more Mexican players or in tight spaces, they were uncomfortable. So if Gray's not comfortable in the middle of the park and you're going to lose something when you bring him back and not playing forward, do I have other forwards with that capability to transition to midfield and play the 8, not necessarily the 6, because I don't have the midfielders with that capability. I like Lambert, but Lambert doesn't present himself to get the ball when we're on offense, ever. He's nowhere to be found. Lati runs all game, but Lati doesn't have certain technical abilities to be creative in midfield. I don't know why DJ didn't get more playing time. I would probably think the coach see me in training and not impressed. But there's a lot of positive to take away, which is the team, how well we seem to gel together. They made the second round or made the semifinal. We lost against Mexico, which is shocking given we played them at home. But the rest of the tournament, we were all optimistic, and we were disappointed by the outcome. So I'll start.
All right. So Tom, come in. Say what you have to say. Give your perspective. On things. What you think. Or if you want to challenge. Yes,
Me,
man. We're
JD?
hearing you now, man. We're hearing you, but we heard like you're driving a
Oh,
truck. I don't.
no, I work on the machine still, and it make some noise inside. So I take a walk outside for a minute,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So give me your
Yeah,
view on it.
yeah. This is my first time I join a panelist and thing, but it's like me not think say this process I go work. To tell you the truth, me like his side. Me like the players them were in a team, but me think say we have to go start from scratch.
Yeah.
Cause all what me say with all most of these team were doing good right now. Me say that is like them have these players from since under 20, under 15 coming up. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I
Mm-hmm.
say? So me think say like all of this right now is just a process. We just want the players them coming younger. You understand me? I say from overseas, you get the players them coming younger from under 15, 17, 20, and start the process from this. And who you have a Jamaica we can get in at the team also. You can start it from there. But me not think this is gonna work because me not think them are gonna get it together with all of these players. These good players, but they get it they're not playing together. They're not playing together. And that's the problem.
Okay, so I
That's what
understand
I
what you
think.
said. You said that we should have systems from youth 17, 15, 17s, 20, 23s, and then we should use that process to come through because you want more cohesion and familiarity from young come straight up. So what we're going to do with the present core, what should we do? Not just throw them away and then just use the guys them to build a core from now, like just put in all the guys them that we played in U20s and just start building from now, maybe with a few of the top quality players them, and just left other players off the side like the older players them. You just choose the mid level players them and just make a team from that.
Yeah, that sound good because to tell you the truth, when I think say most of these players right now, them not gonna get the cohesiveness of each other to get to play together. The little time where them get together for the international break and them stuff, they're not gonna give them that. Me not think so.
Okay.
Not even a million here, me not think that gonna happen.
Oh.
We tried that like 1,000 million times already and it never worked. So me not think no matter how the players them good individually, if you gonna get the team playing together, you have to start from younger.
Alright.
So them can know each
Tom,
other moves and stuff like that.
Right. But
Yeah.
Tom, look at this. Look at the USA team, right? USA brought mainly a MLS team, basically a local based team, right? But
Yeah.
if I don't notice and know that most of the players come into the team the first time they were playing together. But what they have a system there, right? They have players who never played for US before that came there and looked like they had a system. But guess what? We have one major problem in the team. It's the midfield. We need an attacking midfield, a ball handler, and we need a good midfielder. That's what the coach look. So what he tried to do, and it's there for everybody to see. He's
I agree with you on that still. I agree with you on that. So we need a good midfield and thing like that. But we have that? Do we have that? Do we have that?
Yes,
Do we have that? Do we have that?
Don't have that now. So what they're trying to source the players, right? Through family heritage to get them there. Because otherwise it's gonna be the same thing. Because it doesn't matter if you have 6 Premier League strikers and wingers there. If the ball not reaching them, it doesn't make any sense. Right? We're gonna have special moments, but when you play the better teams, right? We start against USA, we gave up the midfield. We start against Guatemala again, we gave up the midfield. If you don't have the person with the right technical ability in the midfield there, and I said it, I said Ravel would have been a big miss for this team, because guess what? When you're playing a top heavy team, you play and we're basically playing a PSG system, right? 4-2-4. right? When Di Maria was there, Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar, that's what they were playing. So you basically have variety in the midfield to try and make the pass, right? And Pereira to do the dirty work. But when they lose the ball, they're in trouble. And that's what happened to us. We have two combative midfielders, different defenders playing midfield now, right? Latimer is okay there, but is when you put him up against a Chavez, right, and Roma, who these players, this is position they play. They're not makeshift,
But
right?
Marlon, we keep talking about the midfield, which I don't disagree with. It needs to be improved. But were we playing 4-2-3-1 or supposedly 4-3-3 or supposedly 4-4-2? So there's not only two midfielders in that type of formation. I said it was a 4-2-4 we're playing. But if we play the formation we're playing, then we have more than two midfielders, don't we?
That's what we're playing. We call it the PSG formation, 4-2-4.
No, we're playing 4-2-4. People are calling it something else. It wasn't. It was 4-2-4.
But
here's
what
the thing,
what PSG gain out of the playing that formation? Really, you see me? The Champions League, but them look like joke. It's like
no, because PSG was playing with eight people who play defense and 3 who didn't ever run back. That was their problem. They could never cover off all the attacking players from the opposition because the 3 stars never played defense.
And that's why Anthony have to do so much work because if last my wife was why is Mikel doing so much work on the field?
Yeah.
I said,
Leon Bailey don't even run. Leon Bailey don't even him just run and like him just watch people, watch a man them stand up. Him don't push a foot. Like me, I wonder if him not train off tackling or like in a training. Like come on, like everybody's supposed to come push a foot, try win a ball, try do something. You can't just run round on the field like that for no reason, yo.
So Marlon, here's the thing that people are missing, Marlon. Here's what people are missing, Marlon, which is, and I've said this quite a bit yesterday, and I'm saying it again. The reason why everyone was excited about the team, and you heard that on the post-match conference last night, was about the Premier League players we had in the team. We have 4 regular Premier League players. We have 1 coming into the Premier League, and we have 1 who played a few games for Wolves in the Premier League. So that's 6 in all, who will have some Premier League player experience going forward, frankly, out of our 11 that we had in the field. And a goalkeeper is a Premier League goalkeeper, in my mind. The front 4 did not turn up in the tournament. And I said this yesterday to Marlon. Listen to this, Marlon. Musa, Weah, Reina, Pulisic, and more recently Balogun. When they come to CONCACAF, they dominate.
Cranky, Anthony Robinson, right?
Robinson, yes. But I'm just talking about the offensive players mainly, not necessarily the ones who are playing. But I agree with you. But I'm talking about the ones who are the offensive players, because I'm talking about the front 4. When they come, and when Pinnock plays for us more recently, has played well. So I'm not talking about defenders and midfield. The front 4, what do you want to say? They are 4 forwards or a 10 and 3 up front. When they come to CONCACAF, those players I mentioned for the US, they dominate. They don't just play, they dominate. They dominate in Mexico. They can't even beat them anymore when they play the full team. Our front 4, regardless of how organized we are, how much cohesion we have or may not have, how they have not played together, when you come to this region against these defenders, and it's not like we didn't get balls against St. Kitts, or we didn't get balls against Guatemala, or we didn't get balls against the US. They have dominated based on their reputation and based on how they're viewed on paper and based on their transfer value. They have not. So when we are beating the midfield, we're giving an allowance to the front 4 about what they did. Antonio didn't score in the tournament. Bailey scored a goal with Trinidad stopped because it looked like it was offside. Gray played well throughout the entire tournament, but he was missing in games sometimes because he may not have been getting feed. And Bobby Reed was atrocious, apart from defensively. So if you're front 4 who you're relying upon to be the difference maker, and on paper everybody say how great they are, and they come to the tournament and they scored in 20% of the games, you should not expect to be in the final of the tournament or win the tournament. You shouldn't. But you can't expect the defender and midfielder to score all the goals. Sorry, Marlon, go ahead. Marlon, you there?
Yeah, man, we're here. But I agree with you. I agree with you, Cranky, as the front 4 thing. But what we need to look at then, Cranky, what should we do then? Obviously, you allude to something early on, stating that we need to either make one of these players into an attacking midfielder.
Well, yeah, we should
I
not
think
always raise problems without proposed solution, right? So
Me think,
you either convert some players with the skill, or you go get players to compete with these players you have.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, panelist.
me think the fitness. I think the fitness is a problem with the team too. And I think the team is fit enough. I don't know, but it's like all of the match them. The rest of the other team just look fitter than our players. Them just look like them are move more. It's like our players them just look sluggish.
No, but not. Oh, not. That's not a question. The coach said it don't. The coach just says, after every
But
game, the coach will tell us that the player them tired. So cranky. Why we never just well, we have to play that way? Because in logics, if you claim to say you're not fit, and they come out and go 900 miles per hour cranky, you don't think you got tired before 25 minutes?
Nah, JD, it wasn't a fitness
Okay,
issue.
but him say that him say no.
To me, it was not a fitness. It wasn't a fitness issue. Look, the shorter teams like South Americans always look quicker than us. Even though we have this athletic prowess, we say we have, they always look quicker than us. They outjump us, even though we're much taller than them. And if you go back to the tournament, you see how much edited people get in the box. That's not our problem. Part of our problem is technical capability. Part of our problem is cohesion. Part of the problem is certain people not stepping up when the competition steps up. And part of the problem is the coach may have been a good coach, but he wasn't a good game manager. I'm going to use the word game. I don't want to say good manager, game manager, because the difference between how I'm with you on the training field and when I'm in the game, when I'm under pressure, how do I manage well under pressure? How do I pick my team on the field? How do I repurpose my team if things are not going well? How do I anticipate what the opposition is doing and make adjustments accordingly? We don't see that. How do I make my changes, which were atrocious throughout the entire tournament? Start with the first game against the US, when we brought on forwards, when we need defenders to lock in a 1-love lead. And I go back to that 101 times, and I see Arteta do that. I'm not talking about Arteta, because I think he's a poor game manager too. You have a game, you're up 1-0. What most coaches do, they put on another centre half. They put on another midfielder. They want to lock down the middle of the park so nothing can go there and hold on to their lead. We put on Burke and we put on Nicholson to do what? They can't get the ball off the. We only had 37% possession anyway. We can't win the ball. Got to stop the ball from going in our goal. So I don't think the coach did a great job of managing the game. But I think I'm going back to this. People keep saying midfielder and defense. I thought our defense was fine. Yes, Javier Brown struggled. Always struggled against Mexico. He shouldn't start against Mexico. That's why Lambakisi came in against Mexico the last game and shut down the right winger. He shouldn't start against Mexico, but he started, right? And he had played well the game before. I don't think it was a defense issue, even though Lowe had a bad night. I think my front four didn't turn up for the tournament, except for one game.
The front four and the midfield is the problem, really. The front four, them not deliver. Them not delivering when them supposed to deliver. It's like them, I don't know, it's like them, it's like a holiday them come look like. I don't know, it's like a holiday them come. Because
no,
you see the fight.
I don't
think
so.
The fight. I don't see the fight in them.
No,
it's
no,
like
I don't think so. Fault, man. But if you put them in
no, Mikel, me not
but if you
about
put
Mikel.
Carla, Tom, if you put them in a wrong formation, sometimes it tend to don't look that way. And so maybe cranky. Maybe you can help me out with this, because this caused a problem the last time. When a coach set one of the players them in a position, and like the players start questioning the coach. You understand me? You think that some of them actually maybe believe that this thing not work, and then start drop them shoulder, because that's what me I see on the field.
JD,
that's what me I see on the field.
There are a couple players. There are a couple players who are playing their way out of the team. I'll just say that. And it's gonna be obvious come maybe next year sometime. They're playing their way out of the team, and they are viewed in a certain light, which doesn't warrant based on how they've played for the national team. They're gonna play themselves for the team. But look, if you're the coach, look, JD, the coach is in a political minefield. The coach has to be very careful, right? Because as a coach, you want to win public sentiment. It's very important. You want to win players' respect. You want to make sure those people who are influential in the locker room are managed really well. So you got to be careful to make certain decisions. What I'm going to is, I understand certain decisions you make. I understand why you don't take off certain players. That we all get. If you work in a certain environment, it's understandable. But sometimes you have to make certain decisions to give yourself the best chance to win. I'm not sure he always did that. I mentioned the US game. This game was another perfect example. Nicholson has had I rate Nicholson to some respects, even though I think he's been really poor this year for the national team. He didn't warrant a place on the field last night, given how we played in Austria. and give him how he played toward the tournament. He's been pressing really hard. The first ball he touched last night, he missed control, and I said to myself, here we go. He wasn't ready for this tournament, and it was very obvious. He may not have been playing a lot of football, and that showed, and I didn't see him on the field. If I was going to make a first change, and this may sound controversial, people say, Crack, you know what we're talking about? I would have probably put Whisper on the field and put on Nicholas and put on Burke on the field.
That's the same thing I say when the halftime come here. I say, you know what? Things that them should have put on Whisper now at halftime. See what's going to happen, because no changes now make on that field with them other players on the field. See if them can do something different. Try something. And the other problem, I think, why we look so nervous when we get the ball, like say we're scared to hold the ball. Why? Why we can't have control of the ball and hold the ball, look forward, look where we players them at before we make a decision. We just get the ball and just kick it like we're scared to hold the ball.
Carla,
Why? Even some of the Premier League players.
The problem is, my problem is, Cranky. I saw Whisper played in games, and I don't think he has that high level of footballing IQ overall. At this point,
JD must have played it. I agree,
at
JD.
this point,
But
so
that's
that's why I'm gonna ask you, because we saw that he doesn't track back, he doesn't mark lanes, he's just like a raw player. Like a raw player that's go forward. So is it that we just want to get something?
The coach said that.
Tom? No, because I've been saying that for a long time. So let me try to finish it. Is it that we just want to get something up the pitch? That's what you said, Cranky. We just want to get something, and because obviously we ain't producing nothing. So that's why you said just put on Whisper for that purpose, because we're gonna lose.
So I agree that.
And who would they take off? Who would they take off, Cranky? Who would they take off in the same time? Because
the changes will change.
May I take off Leon Bailey? Leon Bailey now play not me. I take off him and put on Whisper and see if Whisper gonna do something different from what he was doing.
I just want to make sure.
So JD, the changes were very obvious. JD, it was overly obvious, as the panelist says. But a second to that, I agree with JD about Whisper being defensively unaware, and because when you play at a certain level in schoolboy football, you can do what you want to do, but you're that dominant. Those things will take coaching over time. When he goes to Chelsea, that will materialize because you have no choice. You have no choice in the English league but to play defense. You have no choice.
Not to cut your Cranky, but Leon Bailey play the same way. Him not track back on defense like that either. And in the Premier League, it's just how me respect Craig Butler, but it's just how him training players them to play. Him not train in forward line players them to track back. That's a thing.
So people give me grief about. People give me grief about saying the front four because Gray has played well and made the first round tournament team, made the quarterfinal tournament team. But I thought Gray was very, very good and Jamaica's best player by a good distance, actually.
That's clear.
But there were times when Gray went missing.
But him not play the greatest, but he was our best player for the tournament.
You realize that he's comfortable playing in a left midfielder role, not a left winger role. He will do defensive shift.
But JD, you heard me say, JD, about converting your forwards to midfield, right? That's what was obvious last night, which is, and that was the first game. When he got frustrated about not getting the ball, he came back deep to get the ball. But when he got the ball, he did what Ravel normally does. He has all day to turn, to look for a pass, to play it back. Because you know what? They have already surveyed the field. They know where they are. They're comfortable getting by a player if they get pressured. They don't feel pressure. And what you want in your midfield is your midfield not to feel pressure. Because when they feel pressure, they make bad decisions. And they're going to get most of the touches in the game. Your defenders may get it, but defenders not getting into dangerous position. So I think it was very important for the coach to revisit some of these things, but the coach will also be learning as he goes along.
Facts.
And the coach will realize at some point he's going to have to make some very difficult decisions and uncomfortable decisions.
Cranky, what do you think? So you think Gray should play in a midfield?
I'm not saying he should play in the midfield, but I'm saying in certain games when you have no choice because your midfield doesn't have the capability to be progressive on the ball, to be creative on the ball, to be able to find players. You got to think about, do I convert one of my forwards to midfield to help with that situation until I can get midfield with that capability? We all agree the midfield is not what we want in every position in the midfield. Latibert is a defender by trade, and Lambert it may be good defensively, but not there when you need him on the ball, possession-wise, to move the ball up the field. That's very, very obvious. So the coach has to be creative and think outside the box to get his team, put his team in the best position to win. I'm not sure that manifests itself throughout the tournament. and maybe he didn't want to experiment during a tournament because the team was set. But at some point, he's got to sit down, go revisit the tapes, go revisit the structure and the system and the process, and make some very difficult decisions because some players did not turn up. Now, it's a tournament, but it's 5 games they've had to turn up.
And we have to count the next 2 as well, Cranky, before the tournament start, because remember that was the intensity that they wanted to play. They went for that region specifically to match the intensity of Mexico and United States and those stuff because they press high. And some never turn up for those 2 Jordan and Qatar game. And then after we get how much more games, and we get 5 more games, and we still never turn up. So the big thing you say of the day. Some big decision have to be made, and this front bag of forward players are overall he has to make some big decision and drop some players for other players. Maybe for the Whisper situation, I don't agree, but I understand where your point coming from. I kind of disagree as to what he would have offered and how he would have fixed the problem at the time. But I clearly understand where you're going, the path you're going on.
No, JD, he should have played the 10.
Oh, okay.
Right? We had Bailey playing the 10, and Bailey wasn't playing a 10. He was playing beside Antonio playing center forward. He wasn't running back, did nothing in the midfield.
Okay, no.
Bobby Reed was supposed to play the 10, JD, right? Bobby Reed was supposed to play the 10, and because Bailey wasn't running back, Bobby Reed switched and go play the right wing. So Bailey stayed inside. You don't realize that.
He has the defensive qualities, so that's why Bobby Reed has to force to go out of that side, because you had my boy just running down Gillard just running down the wing freely to Javier Brown every single time. So he had to come back out because it's not going to work. But no, you said no. Oh, you just wanted him to go in a free role so he doesn't have to think about nothing. Just get it forward and just try to attack.
But JD, think about this, JD. What did Bailey do in the 10 position?
No. I agree with you. Half time I'm saying Bailey need to come off of the field because me no know me da sacrifice him because me think so we need a defense, we need a midfielder. But I was saying not Whisper, I was saying Daniel Johnson at the time to just play that role because he played it in Jordan game and I thought he did a good job. You understand me? So he proved that.
So JD, let me say this something. Eric Claudine says Whisper against a great Mexican defense. You guys drinking something? Let me say this, guys, which is sometimes innocence and lack of knowledge and being fearless is a great attribute to have, no matter who you play against. I don't think Whisper fears. The kid doesn't fear anybody's playing. He doesn't fear no one, man. He's just playing football. So yes, JD, I agree with JD about him not having certain awareness on the football field, especially defensively. It could cost you in a game. But when you need offense and when you need to score and create something, he had a free kick outside the box that the Mexican had, and he just came on the field, people. Sorry, we didn't create any free kicks in dangerous situations for the entire game. He did so.
I understand where Cranky coming. I understand where Cranky coming from. I could accept what Cranky is saying. He would have tried to give Whisper that opportunity to just try drive at them to get closer to Mikel Antonio rather than Bailey just there. I think he was tired. Cranky. Or I think it was stage fright or something, but he should be dropping behind Antonio. Every minute Antonio holding his arms like I'm touching the ball. Why are you not dropping in his face to pick up the ball? And you know, Marlon.
JD. Go ahead, Marlon.
Yeah, I saw Antonio come out of the flank. I want to square the ball in the back. I bet you they kick it off a throw.
Yes, I saw it a few times, yeah.
He square the ball in the box too. Huh? But Cranky and Tom and JD, my biggest thing was this. We have never, since the tournament start, we have always been up by a goal. My big feeling was, how do we react
when we are down?
If we go down to the Mexican. And going down so early, it lit the win out of Jamaica.
Yeah, man. One time we win out of them, man.
In that game, reality check them. Right?
Yeah.
They didn't. And that was my thing, because I was like, for all the games we have played, we are always leading. If we can keep Mexico in the second half, the opportunity is here. But if we go down to them, that's why I said yesterday on J Taylor show. I said the first 15 minutes of the game is crucial, right? It's crucial. Is how we react to Mexico, because everybody say high press. I said, how you want to high press a team that has mastered high press when we are 40% learning how to press, right? So that's why I tell you, say you medium press, you try to kick, you let the defenders have the ball, right? That way Gallardo don't have to run forward, he have the ball at back, you take the midfield out of it. Right? You give the defenders the ball when they keep around there. They have to go to the flank. But when you open up to go to press them, it cannot work. They are comfortable playing now. When they press us, it's two things. Low to Javier Brown back to low, Lambert to low, back to Lambert, back to low, then one big hit down the field. The ball is coming back at us.
And your great observation, Marlon. I think I called it on the stream. I was calling last night about who press versus not pressing, and you're right about that. A ball position team who's comfortable with the ball, who's comfortable playing in close spaces, they're hard to press because they're not feeling pressure, right? So you hear me talk about midfielders not feeling pressure. They're not feeling pressure. In fact, they probably welcome it, but they figure they can get behind you if you press them too high.
Frankie, if you go back and watch US Mexico Nation League game, the semi-final,
You have to come in this card, yeah?
USA literally went there, press the hell out of Mexico. Mexico play out of it, but when they play out of it, the mid press was there with McKenny and Musa and coming through there. So that's where they had them, right? They play out the press now, but when they play the press, the mid press is coming. They play at the high press comfortable, but the mid press come, they lose the ball. And US when they lose the ball, Gio Reyna is there, right? So that's where they're not them in. So
and here's another thing people don't realize, Marlon. Here's another thing people don't realize. When you are a team that doesn't have a lot of possession of the ball, that means you're always chasing on defense. And if you're not playing low block on defense, you can't rest. So it's going to be if you're not playing low block on defense and you're playing a semi-tight press and you can't touch the ball, you're going to burn out. They can afford to rest on offense when they have the ball. So they can press us high because they've rested on offense because they have most possession. We don't get any rest during the game.
They high press us, but still keep the defender in a low block, just in case the counter is there.
Don't want to cut you guys. We have a super chat. We don't have any third place because I've looked at all things and we don't see any third place match. So can we confirm that there's no third place match? Because it's only final schedule. No third place match and none of the sides, them guys. We have no third place match. That's what I saw. I don't know if it's other next site that I can look at, but I look at every single page and it says no third place match. So we are done. We are going home.
JD, this is it. If Mexico wins, we come third. If Panama win, USA come third. CONCACAF is the only place that doesn't. I think since 2002, in 2000 they haven't played a third place game. So this it works. Any team who wins the league, wins the tournament, the team that they beat in the semi-final automatically get third.
Okay.
So the prize money, it's a
so we should be rooting for Mexico to win now, for we to get the third place spot.
Get more money there.
Corruption, you know. CONCACAF is a cranky. Oh, you look at that. That is a corruption. Oh my God.
I don't know. I think it's like drawing straws, right? Maybe don't think the third place game warrants being played. Sometimes people play that as curtain raiser for the final.
But you should get compensated, You're going to get money for the third spot, so...
They probably should just share the third spot pot, actually. They should just distribute it evenly between the two teams if they're not playing the game. I don't think it should be based on the outcome of the final that determine, if that's the case, that determines who get the higher
from 2015, right? Right? Panama got third because we beat USA, right? When we went to the final, we beat Mexico. We lost, right? I think it was Costa Rica. Costa Rica went to the semi-final with USA. It's I don't know, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's the only tournament you don't have a third place playoff, right? But at the end of the day, the teams that win, right? Who they beat in the semi-final, they get the third, so the catch incentive is there for them.
And people, I think we do get money if we come the third, but maybe it's not like the amount that the others got. I think the first place get $1 million, the second place get $500,000, and
they get more than $1 million.
No, $1 million is the prize money. But
it's close. It's not 2, but it's closer to the 2 money.
They said to win the game is $1 million, but obviously other money like the 200,000 we get to put up to 1.2, and then the matches everything come to maybe a 2 million, some are 1.7 to be exact.
1.9 yes. I heard for the.
I heard 1.7 when the collective money come in, but money do make people. Money do make. You're playing games and stadium full.
But I think if you come third, you only get 250.
Yes, around that.
Is my
But you
understanding.
still get 200 to enter.
There's a big difference.
Cranky, but you still get 200 to enter. So 200 plus 250 and other addition might still take you to 500.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, there's a big difference between winning and coming any other place in the tournament, actually.
As I said, I had them going to the semi-final. I wasn't one of them that jump up. I said if they make the final, I will take it. That would be a bonus, right? This is where I had them coming, and the boss run out of gas with it. But positive. Through the way. Deshaun Bernard, I think he's one for the future. But at the same time, and when I tell person, I said it yesterday. I said, guess what? When you're playing against Mariapa is all. But there's some, you see the experience and the calm head around there. That's when you need him on the field. The defense they have.
I think you need Mariapa on the bench right beside the coach giving instructions.
Frankie, our defense they have.
I don't disagree he has experience, but the experience he utilizes to help the players because
sometimes
Mariapa is not involved in bad plays, but because he can't recover. He doesn't have the mobility.
The Mexican player.
But Tom, I'm gonna drop this spanner in you guys' range. I told you that Mariapa would have actually might turn out to be better, Cranky, because the space in between midfield and the defense line was nothing to track back. Because we were going to get pinned in, Cranky. So why not start a man that have a high IQ that can read and get into the position rather than two rash defenders? That's what I was saying from day one, Cranky. So now you cancel out the running back because we weren't running back, Cranky. We weren't running back at all. We were already set centrally. We advance a little bit up, but he can recover in that space, Cranky. So why you said you wouldn't start him? I think maybe, and I don't think it would have changed the outcome so much.
Mariapa retired 2 tournaments ago.
All right.
We just didn't realize it. He retired 2 tournaments ago. We just didn't realize it. We just realized it now. No, he's not the answer. Sorry. Pinnock was the answer. And unfortunately, Pinnock had a family situation he could make it. Pinnock was the answer. But it was about, guys, here's the thing. Let me just, sorry, madam, before I jump in. I'm going to go back to the front 4. People want to say is front 3 plus 1. How many times did we test the goalkeeper last night? How many saves did he make?
How much save he makes?
How many saves did he make last night?
Big saves.
Yeah, how many saves
he
did
picks
he
the ball. He picks the ball up one no big save. He made no big saves. It's only one hard shot that went to him. Slightly defective shot, which is a Damari Gray 23rd minute shot. But aside from that, that's pretty much it. Mikel Antonio off a shoulder, but he could muster enough.
Antonio passed one. Also,
yes, that's a pass, so it's not a big shot. So
yeah. So the point I'm making is that we can beat the defense all we want. We can beat the defense all we want. We can beat the midfield all we want. But if you have those Premier League players in your team, they have to threaten the opposition's goal. And they didn't threaten the Guatemala goal that much. They had a couple chances, especially Gray. And they didn't threaten the goal against the US, even though we scored 1 and should have scored 2. And they didn't threaten the goal against Mexico. When we play the better teams or big players, I'm beating this to death, didn't show up. Don't tell me about no midfield because they got balls to do something with. How many times did a winger get the ball and go by a defender? How many times did our wingers or supposedly
I can bring up the stats. And to be honest, it's only one person look like they're gonna beat somebody and actually have the ball after beating somebody, and it's Damari Gray. To be honest, Mikel Antonio will bulldoze his way through, but aside from those two, it doesn't look like anybody up to get past the player and then in control after passing the player. Because Liam Bailey, he will pass a player, but good Lord, he may not control after.
Our entire right side, JD. Think about our right side. Who's on the right side?
Low Javier Brown, Bailey and Reed majority of the time, because Bailey likes to drop over the right hand side rather than going over the left hand side. Yeah,
and our right side didn't play well. It's not debatable.
But Cranky,
our right side didn't play well offensively. Had some challenges defensively.
Yeah, but Cranky, now we found a few players. Let me look at the positives, because we beat down for a good 1 hour 30 minutes. So the positives, we found a few players. what would we do to make the team much more solid going forward? Like you said, we have to make some strong thing and take someone out of the team. Make we hear what you have to say then. Who you think will come out of the team? And, and everything. No, because me know you're straight like me, no. You get me?
So JD, you know, I get a lot of beating, right? You know, I don't really care, actually. I get a lot of beating about some things I say, which may be controversial. And I'm sure I told management when he looked at my tape last night, he should just burn it because I'm going to get crucified because I was very damning in my comments about some aspects of the performance. No, look, I agree with people. Look, we need Pinnock to come back into the team to show up the left side. We have a couple more players I hear are coming. We're going to have to show up the right side, and quality players, by the way. But I think the midfield, I haven't heard of any midfielders coming or potentially coming, which give me pause to say, you know what? They're going to be clear differentiators, meaning they have committed to come, and we're going to show up the midfield. Now, we had Ravel, but Ravel is not playing football, and Ravel is inconsistent. Right? I haven't heard of any midfielders who are coming to show up that middle, whether it's a CDM role or the 8th role. I haven't heard that. We recruit for that. Or, as I said, either recruit for or you convert some players, and hopefully they can acclimate themselves to the role in the midfield, but you have to show up the midfield. And then you need competition for places up front, whether it's Reed, whether it's Golden Person, whether it's Antonio. I am comfortable with Gray, how Gray has played with the tournament. And I'm sure he must be frustrated not getting enough balls, but he should be used to it because he played for Everton. Shouldn't be a surprise to him because someday you play for those teams, you don't have possession control. You don't have possessions a lot. So if we shore up the forward line, we have competition for places. We bring in some more defenders, and we try to go source some midfielders. They may be young because if I think about all the people with Jamaican parentage and play midfield, they're not a lot of them. We hear about Lewis Baker, but we haven't seen him. We know Stewart comes sometime, but I wasn't overly impressed by Stewart, and he's injury prone. We have to go find some midfielders out there or convert some people to midfield who can do the job. Because that's the connection. That's the connector between your defense and your forward line. If you don't want to play long, and long balls are 50-50 balls, they're not surety to get the ball upfield. And I heard someone say in the chat, well, who's getting the front for the ball? They were getting balls. I'm sorry. We probably have more possession against Mexico than we ever had in any game. The front four were getting balls. Maybe they weren't linking up well. They were playing close enough together. But they were getting balls. Maybe not as much as we'd like them to get. But they were getting balls. They weren't effective.
In the position.
And by the way, guys, they only scored in one game. So don't give me that nonsense about who can get the front for the fall, because they only scored in 1 after 5 games. Always remember that. They had some assists. That's fair. But they only scored in 1 of 5 games.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think they, but where people have the problem, Cranky, saying that the midfield why the midfield is a problem is because the front four are 2 out of the front 4, which is Gray and Reed has to always be tracking back to add to the defense. So when the others get the ball in that position, it's isolated. Because remember, we are trying to attempt a 4-2-4, you know, but we keep on always dropping back to a 4-4-2. Because we can't advance those players. So even when we get the ball, Gray have to be dribbling 16 steps before he actually get into an attacking position. Even at the last kick of the ball, you remember that dribble of the first half? The man dribbled from pretty much up behind the circle, you know, to get past 3 players in, and the 4th player, I don't know which one of them it was, if it was Vasquez or whatever, he tipped it off his foot because he beat 3 players, but he can't beat the 4th player because he's running from down a fiend box. He was physically running from down a fiend box. So it's hard, Cranky. It's hard when they don't have a midfield. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but JD, I could hear that logic if it was only against Mexico, for example, was a very ball-dominant team. But when you're playing 5 games, and in only 3 of those games, you may play in decent competition. Guatemala wasn't that good, let's be honest, even though they won their zone. They weren't a great team. They were a decent team. But I didn't see where's the linkage between the front 4, JD, if we use that as the reason. And by the way, one of those front 4 should be playing midfield. One of them is a 10. If we're playing 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, one is a 10, aren't they?
Yeah, one should be a 10.
So where's the 10?
Yeah, but remember the problem of this tournament, Cranky, is the coach trying to force Leon Bailey in his system. Because the problem is Glenn Bailey can't play right midfield or left midfield because he offers nothing going at the next direction. It's clear at Aston Villa when he starts, he fights hard, but anytime the team get under pressure and they have to go more narrow, they're going to substitute him. He's the most substituted player in the actual entire Aston Villa team. Anytime they have a problem and they have to go to a narrow system, he's going to come off the field. You get me? So he clearly see that he can't play it and he wants to maximize his skill set, just as how you said he wanted to maximize Whisper's skill set. He believes in Liam Bailey to carry us over the land, so he puts him in that hole of the central forward. And he was decent at certain point with smaller teams, but he never lived up to that billing at all. At all. And I pretty much knew that he couldn't be the one to carry us over in a central forward role. He has to stay out of wing position because I think what requires for a central forward behind a striker, he doesn't possess that much. That is not one of his highest actual skill set. You get me? So I think maybe the coach found out that now.
What's his skill set,
His
JD?
skill set
What's
is speed and actual cut in to strike. That is his skill set. But to have the ball and to
So if it's speed, how many players have you run by in the tournament? If it's speed, how many players have you run by in the tournament?
No, but if you're behind no, you can't run behind people. You can't. No, because the central forward role, the speed kind of get clogged up because Mikel Antonio in front of you. So
no, he was out. He was out
Cranky,
wide on the right.
let me explain, Cranky. Let me explain. So anytime he drifts off, because he's a central forward, anytime he drifts off, people can always get two bodies to him. He barely get one-on-one isolation, to be honest. He doesn't really get one-on-one isolation, to be honest. But the problem is when he gets a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1, he thinks that he can pass all of them. And you're a central forward, you need to link the play. So stop trying to do everything. You get me? So that's what I said. His strongest suit is the weakest part of his game is his footballing IQ. I can be straight up and say that. It is footballing IQ.
I think he's playing himself on the bench. To the bench.
JD, Crank.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Right now. And this is where this part is argument, sir. That formation, you need to change it. Adapt now. Adapt to Concacaf now. That formation is not gonna work. You don't have the riders and good man so here to play that much role. Right? Adapt yourself to Concacaf now. If you're not going 4-2-3-1 in Concacaf, we're not ready to play 4-4-3, we're not gonna go anywhere. Right? If you want the best out of Bailey right now, if you don't give Bailey up there as a out and out wing on that left hand side where he can cut in and square or go after goal, we're not going to get the best out of him. When you give him the free road to be up and down, sometimes he get caught out as well. So that's why he comes in the midfield at times when and he's a dribbler, right? And most.
So here's where I can get beaten, Marlon. Go ahead, Marlon. Go ahead.
Because if last night he came in the midfield, he got a ball. It was a simple one pass to Latibody and take it back. He cut the man inside out and then tend to dribble. And I want to start dribbling. Remember I said.
Tell him to mute his mic.
Yeah, let me mute him. Sorry, let me mute him. Can't hear people. Sorry.
Let me say this. Here's where I'm going to get beaten, guys. I'm going to get major beaten, and I accept my beating before I open my mouth and say this. So Gray has just joined us. He has played in 5 games. He's made a tournament team in 2 situations, 2 rounds, right? He's only played with us. This is his first time playing with us as a forward.
Yes.
We keep talking about this other person and about his capability.
Mikey, call the man in the Mikey.
How many tournament teams have he made?
Cranky, have the balls to call him name. Cranky, call him, because we're talk. We have.
I don't have it. I'm weak. I'm weak. Somebody told me the other day I'm weak because I didn't make a prediction. I didn't say Seki should get 7 or 8, so I'm weak in my prediction. So I'm not calling it because I get a lot of grief for this. But everybody knows what I'm talking about. I've watched him play up close and personal. Like 2 years ago for all 3 games. Watched him up close and personal. Was all the stadium saying, you know what? Nah, I'm not impressed. Probably should be on the bench for some of these games. And I think the player is playing himself off the team. I look at how many games he's played in Jamaica. And if he's played 15 games, he hasn't had 4 excellent. He hasn't had 2 excellent games. And he hasn't had 3 very good games. He's struggled mightily. So as a coach, you got to figure out where does this player best fit player has ability. There's no doubting that. But as you said, the player's decision making is atrocious. It's awful. It's terrible. And last night, what did it for me was the player had a 5-yard pass to make. And the defender on his shoulder at a 5-yard pace, he tried to beat the defender and hurt himself because he's always trying to overdo it. He doesn't come back. You whisper being naive. Somebody got to mute them.
Yeah. Man.
Whisper being naive and whisper not having the awareness defensively. That player doesn't have the awareness defensively either, or doesn't feel like he needs to trap back. So, and I think Whisper would have given more from this tournament that the player gave us. There's no doubt in my mind. In fact, the Whisper and the player have the same stats. They both have 1 goal, don't they?
Yeah, one assist as well.
So
One or 2 assists, something like that.
Yeah, so I do think, and Whisper played much less minutes. In fact, he didn't play more than 20 minutes in any given game. I just wish it's about one player, right? We're exhausted. I think going forward, the coach he has quality to work with. That's one thing you want is, do I have quality to work with? He has quality. He would have assessed and realized what my deficiencies are in a number of areas. Give my strategy I want to employ, give my system I want to play, give my style of play, who I want in my team. And hopefully, he will be given the autonomy, because this is important, to make certain difficult decisions and make the right decisions to give him the best chance of success. So my hope is that as players go off to their teams for preseason, that the coach will have a heart-to-heart with the team collectively and with individual players to really set out the strategy going forward, what he's trying to accomplish, give his appreciation for them being part of this environment, which seems to have been very good. Everyone seems to have gotten along, which is very important from a culture standpoint. But going forward, saying, you know what? We've done okay in this tournament. We have to do better. And make sure he set up for each person what he wants from them going forward. But I'm also very optimistic because I'm aware or made aware that some players are coming in and they have certain pedigree. And even though I think we're a collection of players, we're not a team yet, because team needs time to gel and build the right environment. I think fans should walk away being optimistic about the future. Because a lot of times it's about the players, not even about the coach or management, especially international football. It's about the quality of the players, and all those players blend and get together. And if we show up the midfield, show up some elements of the defense. I love my goalkeeper. I love 3 of my center halves. I like some of my front 4. You know, I use different adjectives to describe how I feel about some of these things. And I think we have the potential to we'll make the next World Cup without a doubt, on a trot, frankly, easily. If we get all the players in we're supposed to get in and they blend, we're going to make the World Cup. Maybe as a 17, because Panama is tough. Costa Rica is bringing in more youth. But I think we'll make the World Cup. But I also want to go to the World Cup to make up numbers. I want to go there with a number of quality players. And I've heard people like Keon Edwards from Arsenal, who is a forward, who's really good at saying that he's looking for his passport. Will he make this team? Probably not, but it's one for the future. So if we build that system in different countries, whether it's the US or the UK or wherever we can get players, we bring them in to have that brotherhood, they coalesce really well, we'll be okay going forward. So now people say, Cranky, you're being miserable. You were so miserable yesterday. But you know what? When you lose, you get miserable. So like,
remember, you know, I started the game and said, you know, Cranky, that I'm not going to be cursing you. And before 3 minutes in the game, you know, Cranky, I am seeing that we might get 6. Tom, Jesus God, Tom, you have to mute you. Tom, you have to, let me just disconnect Tom. Tom, come back whenever you're ready. Tom, I drive him truck. Yeah, so Cranky, people don't understand, say, even though me say me an analyst, me still get passionate towards the thing, because if I can be here seeing something, and I heard the coach said the same thing, and then I saw you not making any changes towards it, me start off here ask the question. So what me I ask you now, Cranky, is how much of an impact Jamaica have to do with, like Jamaica, we have to say the word, we don't want to say it, but Jamaica corruption politics have to do with them preferential treatment to players. How much you think that are the problem to
I don't think that's it, JD, at all. I'm not going to accuse anyone first of all, I will never accuse of corruption unless I have evidence to substantiate my perspective. So we shouldn't say that. What we should say is this, which is sometimes there are influences about who gets selected for the national team 50-man squad,
Yes.
right? And sometimes you may, as a coach, you may allow those influences because you're not going to bring to the 23, so it doesn't really matter. But you may be disregarding somebody who could have made it 23, who wasn't included in the 50. So that's important. I think this coach is objective. I don't think he's biased, but I think he has to be very careful about how he manages certain situations. And I think he genuinely believes, like a lot of us, that if he has all these players who have certain pedigree at his disposal, he has to play his best players, even though they may not be the best fit. And people got to understand that. So the coach is, even though you can make the coach a hard time, I think his game management wasn't that great. He's between a rock and a hard place. Because if he doesn't play certain players and we lose, he's going to get crucified. If we play them and they don't play well and we lose, he's going to get crucified. Right? He only gets credit if we win. So it's a tough situation to be in. But I do think the coach is objective. He's independent. He will have influences, but over time, JD, results give you the autonomy you're looking for.
Yeah.
And as he said, this is his first loss in a competitive game. So if he's getting positive results, then you can pick your own team. It's like a Guardiola or a Klopp. They win, so you know what? They can manage management because they have the outcome and they have the fan support because they're getting results. When you don't get results, you don't have a leg to stand on. When you get results and positive outcome, then you can be you will get more autonomy to make decisions. And this coach is going to be judged by wins and losses. I think some people are disappointed we didn't go farther in the Gold Cup, and rightly so. But we should take this as a learning. It's his first major competition, and it's a learning for him to utilize going forward. And I think when he gets more players and there's competition for places, and if he tells some player you're dribbling too much and play uncertain, he can bench them and doesn't lose anything on the field. It will in any team that makes life easier, JD.
All right.
As you know.
Fair. Well said. Maybe I used the wrong word there, Cranky, but totally understood. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Marlon, and then we're bringing Jason right after.
I think and he as a coach, right? And I said it with Skilloni and Messi, right? When Skilloni took over as interim coach, right? And Messi is stepping away from international football, and Argentina went off on that run and started winning some game, and Messi was brought back in, right? First thing he said, and guess what? You have to come and be a part of the team. And it's not we are building a team around you. We are building a part of it. Or you know that all the coaches was trying to play Argentina through Messi, right? And you saw what he did. So sometimes as coach, you might have the player there being a top player, but you have to really go there and make that hard decision and say, guess what? This is how we are playing. So you have to play this way, right? And I think as Cranky said, the man management wasn't the best through the tournament, but I think it's a learning process for him still. Now you see what Concacaf is made up, definitely have, right? And when I went out and the competition started, I said I had Mexico as the best team. Panama would have been the second team for me. US, we were the fourth team. Person were saying that how comes we can be the fourth team when everybody is saying that? I said don't get blindsided by the front four. Their names look good, yes, but Panama, as we know, this is that team. Panama have pieces that went to the World Cup before in 2018, right? And they brought in the other pieces there. They have a very good coach now. And what the coach does, the coach find a system to build on from what they had before and put the players in. So, and they're reaping their reward now. So I think we now have to really look. We don't have the resources that Panama has, because a lot of person might say where Panama get this high result from. Panama, I probably only US and Mexico might can match Panama and resources in football here right now, right? So we have to really now probably try to pattern what they're doing. Yes, we might have the better players by name, but they have already established a system out there. So whatever thing the coach put out, they can implement it on the field. So we are working on something now. As I said, they were positive. There's still a lot of still negative, right? We have a few players that we find, but I think going on cranking in the future, going to National League, as Latimer years, but when he goes back into Europe, whatever club he goes back, he's gonna go play as a right back. And then when he come back to the national team, because he did well there, he's gonna come back and see them. So I think there's a lot of pieces in our team. And remember, since November, Bill hasn't played as an out and out left back. He has been playing as a left centre back. Javier Brown is playing as a right centre back at times as well. So when they come to the national team, now, you're basically adjusting yourself again. But I say positive word here. With the pieces that hopefully we'll be getting, and some young players will be there as well. But the National League, the thing about the Cranky, when the new players have come again, is a competitive game. There's no practice game for them to really come and really get the understanding of it.
Well, Marlon. Hopefully,
Yeah.
the players who come play like how Gray has played.
Well, guess what? Once you're top players, right? We saw Liam Moore came, Liam adjust himself to Concacaf. Pinot did it as well.
Yep.
Been playing in Concacaf as well. Latibody came here and he like, guess what? Yeah, man, I was playing in the Caribbean, so I know how to play here. So it shows. I show that when you get quality players come, right? Because everybody say Concacaf is hard for you to adjust. But when you see Latibody Gray come and do it, we saw Liam Moore did it in the last Gold Cup, right? Pinnock has got used to it now. So Ravel came and Ravel second along the same way. So once the high quality players come, I don't think it's hard for them. It's just for the coach to really get the right blend of players right now and put them together. And we can take it from there. But the National League is going to be what now we're really focused on, because we want to be a part of Copa America next year. Although Concacaf set it that year again, you give it top four two opportunity to make the National League. You're already waiting there for the quarterfinal. If you lose in the quarterfinal, you still have a fifth and sixth place position to play for. So for me, it's Cranky, and I said I had a conversation with JD the other day. I said the four top teams should have been playing National League. You don't need to give them anybody. They're saying, guess what? That's how World Cup qualifiers is gonna be. They're not gonna play. Give them the opportunity. Let them play the smaller team. If you win, you win. Because another day anybody can show up and shock you.
Yes, but Marlon, that's what they don't want their World Cup teams being knocked out by Panama and those stuffs or Jamaica. They're gonna say Jamaica, you guys have to prove that you're good. No, it exposed that Jamaica definitely need extra matches them to get better. Cranky, you understand me? And need to avoid these big teams. Just go and get some confidence and try out some things, because we don't have any international window, Marlon. You get me? We don't have any free window to get any friendlies. So let we get weaker teams to try out things on, rather than be playing Mexico and United States and Canada, because they are going to beat Jamaica again. You get me? And we're not going to learn much from it, because once we concede a goal, as what you said, Marlon, we are going to revert back to running down, try to prove that we can score back on them, and then we lose everything. I think these poorer games, we can learn a few more things in it, you know? I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe it works out better for us than to put the guys in.
I think it's unfair for again. In tournaments, you have upset, and that's why everybody always for the FA Cup, right? Remember, a couple years back, USA go to Barbados down there. They almost got the head knocked off there. Concede their own goal, and it was the Altidore. Young Altidore break out and come and score 2 for them. Because sometime, guess what? We know that when USA don't travel well.
Mm-hmm.
USA doesn't travel, right? That's why even World Cup qualifier, most of their fight they generate they get the wins is when they are in the
Okay,
US.
so
Right?
Marlon, US don't travel well to Honduras. Sometimes El Salvador, definitely Costa Rica is a problem. All right, yes, but it's not everywhere, Marlon. So in the top,
But JD,
yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead,
JD, even when they played us at home, we should have beaten them, and the referee disallowed Lowe's goal.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But
they didn't play that well against
Cranky,
us.
remember, Javier Brown forget a red card in a game, you know. I just shouldn't VR never dead here as well too. So we have to remember all them stuff that were happening in Cranky. So we should have been 10 man down long time, you know. You understand me, Cranky?
No, but the ref disallowed that goal. Because there was no bar. He disallowed that goal, which should have been disallowed, and he had no reason to disallow.
All right.
So don't disagree that there were other events in the game, but when you score a goal, it's a whole different ball game than. Because last night the Mexicans got a red card for the tackle on Javier Brown. Didn't even get a yellow. I don't people realize that tackle he made on Javier Brown. He stepped in his ankle, stepped over the ball, didn't even get a yellow card.
And Leon Bailey.
And VAR didn't even step in the same.
And Leon Bailey should have got a red card for what he did, but They looked.
Yes, he did, and maybe they equalized it because he kicked out. Yes, I agree with
so
that.
you
He
see,
kicked
so
out.
even though we have blamed something over the Mexican side, we have to blame something from the Jamaican side as well. Because I think the ref did.
But it was a timing issue because they would have got there ready
Yeah,
before we got hurt.
Okay.
But Cranky, if you look at it,
Eh?
and I said the coaching staff, I think they learn a lot from this tournament right now. Because and I think the coach himself knows that we're nowhere close to Mexico, and he said it himself. He said that the Jaime has come in and made the team different from what they play, what we play against. Because I tell you, if it was Diego Cacade there, it's no problem. We beat this Mexico team because the team was totally lost.
But Marlon, why you have this
Right?
confidence,
Yeah.
Marlon, and we just say we fail against Guatemala? Because we did fail against Guatemala, we only get the result, you know. The coach come out and tell you, oh yes, it was a 50-50 game. We can't play like that against Mexico. So we fail. We won the game, mathematical.
JD, look at it. When the Mexico team play against Guatemala and Cameroon, what did I call it in the morning?
You said them to look good and stuff, and obviously Guatemala is a tough team to break down, yeah. So you.
And I said, if they don't get rid of the coach, they're not going anywhere in National League, and they're not going away in Gold Cup. Remember, I said it. You know, I said if they don't get rid of the coach, Honduras and Haiti coming out of that group. Remember my prediction was Haiti and Mexico advancing.
Yes.
Haiti take it and slope, right? But when after the National League semi-final and third place playoff, what I said, when they said the coach, I said, well, we're in a problem. Right? Person said, what do you mean? They just lose 2 games. I say, yeah. But the man who make these players, the young players coming through from under 20, under 23, he's coming in now. The players are gonna have to work for him. And that's what happened.
So, but we don't want to deviate from it, you know, Cranky. So, Cranky, I agree with Marlon. Say all the big teams should have competed in the first round of the Nations League and not just pity patter because they only need 1 game to go to the CONMEBOL thing. You thought that it should not be that way because that is disrespect.
No, top teams get preferential treatment. In European Nations League, for example, they have different divisions, right? So if you're a top team, you're getting certain allowances. So you could debate it either way.
Okay.
Not sure I totally agree because if you have earned over the years the position you obtained, then you deserve, right?
Oh, Cranky. Remember,
yeah.
Right? They have the Atalanta, the National League, where they divide the top 16 team play together, right? So same like how we have League A. What I'm saying now, you're qualifying for another tournament, and you give a man 50% chance already. So he's sitting there waiting for you. When if you go and you beat him on the day, he still have another 50% chance again to go through.
But Marlon, it's afforded based on your ranking and your position in the region, isn't it?
Yeah, but Cranky, remember it's something that they just made up, you know. So the CONMEBOL drying up thing is something that just made up, you know. So why is it you should use historic facts?
Yeah. JD,
guys,
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, when you look at these things, the most important thing is to see where the precedent is. And as far as I know, there's no other competition in the world where members of the confederation get pushed ahead of everybody else. If it's a competition where you're qualifying for something, everyone must start at the same place. That is the precedent set around
That
the
is
world.
not true.
When
you qualify for Champions League,
Nations League, huh?
No, but you're saying precedent and examples as the basis and criteria to assess how you should position yourself as a league. There are preferential treatment given all over the world in different leagues.
No, but Cranky, you are referring. You said Champions League, didn't you?
Yes,
yes, I'm just saying
seedings do happen in Champions League, but not putting people in the quarterfinals.
But Champions League, you cannot compare the Champions League to what's going on in CONCACAF, though. That's the point I was going to make. Because you have all these countries around the world, like you'd say, where CFAS plays, right? I understand the champion of that league has to play qualifiers. That makes total sense because there's too many leagues in Europe for it to work otherwise. But CONCACAF doesn't have that issue as far as, 100 leagues and we need to figure it out. No, it's very simple. You let everybody play from the start, and if USA whop up side 16-13 love, I saw it go. That's the way that those teams are going to get better. I don't know how much that does for the USA, but at least it keeps the integrity of the competition the same. Because if I am the 5th place or the 6th place team that's not getting that 4, am I that far away from the 4th place team to where I have to play so much more game than them?
Yeah, because remember the cranky have
Where it-
5 games. You
where
have,
it might
5
make
games
sense
you have to
for
play in the
USA
cranky.
and
If you have a 6 games you have to
Right.
play, and if you have a possible chance to qualify, a possible chance. And United States only need United States and those teams need to only play 2 games. That's home and away. So if you win, and that's the problem in the cranky. They make it almost impossible. So if you beat them one time, you have to go back to play them again. Cranky. And then if you beat them the second time, them give them a 3rd chance for win 1 game for go through. So in order for them man to get eliminated, them have to get 3. You have to beat the best
They're
team
telling
3
you,
times.
JD, they're telling you,
let's
they
just
tell you
say
they
it
want
for
them in
what
the
it is.
tournament, JD. They want them in the tournament.
Exactly. Let's just say it for what it is. It was a political move because they know that those teams will generate the most money, and that's the
Yes.
matchup that the Copa America people want to see. That's all
Yeah.
it's about, guys. We don't have to try ring around and ring my brain. It's literally a political money play. That's it.
Yeah, I would.
Because JD, you want competitive matches, so if somebody get a lucky win for you one day and they can't go compete in a tournament type
So
environment, that's not
okay.
attractive.
So all right, so people, maybe you missed what we are saying. Maybe you missed what we are saying. But the Nations League coming up, but United States, Canada, Mexico, they are surely not going to be partaking in no part of what you're going to see. You're going to have Jamaica in a group, and you're going to play 4 games, group of 6, 2 groups of 6, and each team play 4 games. One of them will be home and away as well, and you're going to play 3 opponents out of the 6. That's how they actually work it. So it's not 4 different teams. You're going to play one team 2
That's what I'm on
times. Yes, it's confirmed, Marlon.
But JD.
So the
why?
total of 4 games
Go
is
ahead.
only against. Sorry, the total
In
of 4
a
games
group of
is
6.
only against 2 of
Yes,
teams.
you're going to play 3 teams, one team
I
2
thought you
times.
just get run. Okay.
Yeah.
You definitely play home and away.
Yes.
I thought it was just you might play this team home and you might play this one. Okay,
Them set it up away, Cranky. You're going to laugh to the dead, Cranky, when you see it.
Yes,
So we
sir,
might
Cranky.
have 6 teams. We'll have 6 teams in our group, but only face
Only
2 of
play
the other
3,
teams.
3, 2 in a 1-1 game and 1 home and away. That's how it's set up.
What?
We don't play
All right.
Cuba, we don't play. I've never seen this in my life. You have a group of, and you're gonna play one team 2
Yes.
times. So why did they make it that?
No, it's probably based on the windows, don't it? It's probably based on the time available in the
No,
windows.
Cranky.
Yeah.
Cranky. There are FIFA window, Cranky, but guess what, Cranky? All right, guess what? If we play, look at it. If we play Haiti,
2
right?
times.
We play Honduras the first. Honduras the first game, right? The 3 teams are playing the same day. Then we play Haiti. The 3 teams are playing the same way. So how you gonna tell me though that you could have played the 5 team then? You had a 5 team there group, but we're gonna play Haiti 2 times,
Yes.
right? Suriname play. What type of money is that?
They set it up.
So the only people you can blame for all of this nonsense are the teams within the countries in CONCACAF who are not exerting their voting powers to defeat some of these measures undertaken by the big teams in the region.
So Cranky, let me give you a shocker. So if this rule stays the same way, Jamaica might actually win this group, people. Jamaica might not actually even qualify because if we have to beat Haiti and beat them twice as well. And then we have Honduras in it as well. And then Suriname, you know me and the Suriname, me always love Suriname. But Suriname get too easy match.
Well,
So
Grenada.
Suriname get to play Grenada 2 times. So that them can go up on 6 points and then Jamaica for play 82 times. No, I'm very sorry. No,
I hate these. That's a tough team, Haiti's a tough team.
Of course, Cranky. So I'm trying to say, so I think people need to call out them madness, man. You need to play 4 damn teams and 4 damn different teams, Cranky. That's how you should go for every team.
Yeah, I
5 teams.
thought
JD, the 5 teams
I
are
thought that's
there.
how it was gonna go. Like you play 2
Oh,
home, 2 away. Yeah.
But yes, sir, I said it. I said it. I even said to Simon. I said when they said that we part A won't play part B. I said, what mafia thing they're coming with now, right? I see it now. So they say, right. So we want to play Suriname. So I am looking for us to play Cuba one time, play Haiti, play Honduras, and play Grenada. When I saw the draw the other day and I saw the fixtures, I wake up the same man. I messaged JD. I said, JD, have you seen the fixtures? I said, I don't understand this. How we gonna play Haiti 2 times? So it's when I was listening to Mr. Chongmon when I was driving back from Kingston. listening and they said, oh, we have games coming up. We have Haiti home and we have Haiti. We have. I'm like seriously though. This is confirmed.
what
Yeah, man,
they
them confirm,
so
man.
what they decided to do was play. What they decided to do was play the Pot B teams home and away for
Oh,
sure.
the Pot B.
Because we were in Pot B
Yeah,
with Haiti, weren't we?
No, we are Pot A. We were in Pot A, right?
Oh, okay. So originally it had come out that A wouldn't play B, but then it turned out so we actually have play home and away against B.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the team from C would have played. No, where go again? Yeah. It was Panama, Pot A, Panama, Jamaica, Honduras, and Haiti. I think that El Salvador.
Yeah, man. That's our group, man. So we have Honduras, right? we have Haiti, and we have one more team that we should beat. You know, so that's it.
Grenada.
Honduras, Haiti, and
Grenada.
Grenada. So the next two teams.
JD and Jason going to
okay, all right. Take care.
But I appreciate the having me on,
all
JD.
Right, respect.
Enjoy the day.
Respect and take care.
All right, bless up, fellas.
All right.
Bless up.
Yeah. And guys, you only have 20 more minutes here. Go ahead, Marlon. 20 more minutes you have. Please do hit the like button. We haven't told you from early. So if you are on 5 likes, I want to disrespect us over 2 hours. I'm telling you, people, if we're going to get it to 200, I'm going to read the super chats, all the super chats one time at the back end of the video, all right? If we're on 200 likes, I war me, I'm not going to war people because of facts we talk here. All right? Yeah, go ahead, Marlon.
Look at it though, right? Jamaica is set up for Jamaica and Haiti good at job photo. Now Jamaica play Haiti 2 times, whatever draw the 2 game. Then Honduras and Cuba 2 times. Suriname have Grenada 2 times.
So Marlon, no, you see it. Yeah. Them set it up for we not gonna away. Now that me try to know.
Yeah, basically it's like them are trying to knock out the team them where might could have knocked out the top 4.
Yeah, the problem looking teams them. So Jamaica look problematic, Haiti look problematic. Make the 2 of them play each other. If it draw, or one of them beat each other, Suriname pick up 6 points, Honduras pick up 6 points. And then if Honduras draw against Jamaica, Jamaica can't pass them. You know, realize that, people?
Yeah. Now the crucial part is where we play Honduras.
We should play them here or home, but them can't get a draw. Them play a side type of way with trouble we know as how we are playing.
No, look at it. No, me not say we win. I say we have a much better chance if it's at home.
Okay, oh God, man, can't bother with them rules.
Just look at it. Look at it though. The 2 first games at home. So if you win and draw, and then you have to go up and we're going to draw, beat Haiti and beat Grenada. And
you have to go find that next 3 points on the road too. Yeah.
We have a pick up on the road. But guess what?
Yeah.
When Grenada possibly win Honduras, possibly beat Haiti, beat Cuba 2 times, right? So we have a 2 home game. We have a flawless one them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Listen, look at it now. Panama play El Salvador 2 times. El Salvador. If you Curacao, Martinique, then go through.
Yeah, so
guys, all I'm telling you, we are in an next Earthhead, and we have to be honest to ourselves. It was set up by CONCACAF again. I not agree with it. The big teams then must go through, and then we set up some ridiculous thing. It's like we're making it easier for the big team to be sure to actually go through when they meet the teams coming through.
It's like the way them set it up already was bad enough. But then them double down now with how them had the fixture set. It's like them really are sure. It's like they're not even try hide. So them are trying to make the man go through. It's like.
But just when they have the draw, they said Part A won't play Part B. So it's all right.
So isn't this something like some people like we would document these things? We can't reach out and tell them, yo, you can't say one thing and then change it, JFL, like Simon in there now, he must write a letter because you can't say the competition going to go one way and then just change it when the fixture them come out. That don't make no sense.
The only thing them change them say I did 4 games every team I have with different teams. So we should have had 4 matches with different teams, and then them switch it back to one team you play 2 times.
Yeah, and the switchback
Right?
part me have problem with, right? Because you can't make a competition, put out a thing on it, and say how it gonna go, and then what? Who make a decision then now to
Make a
change
try
it?
research. Make a try research it. Make a try research it. Make a try research first.
I guess when they're doing
Because
the fixture, they just say, you know what? Jamaica nobody play Cuba, man. Go play Haiti again. 2-5.
brother,
Who want go through?
a Gold Cup them I watch, and I said, damn, look on Haiti, look on them team here, look on Jamaica, look on them team here. How we can make sure say them man don't mess with and them change the thing. That's a foolishness.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. People, 1 second, guys. Let me check it. Oh, we are not at 200 as yet. People, we only need 30 subscribers. We never asked you to subscribe as yet, but I thought based on the reasoning, you guys would have subscribed. Through it. We need 30 more subscribers to reach 7,000. So if if you haven't subscribed and you like what we do, all right, what we do here, we are objective. We don't bias. So we maybe be Jamaican, but you're not going to get the over the top Jamaican madness. We're not going to give it that. We're going to always be objective. We just like football. I think I have to make sure I rewrite the details part, Marlon. Make I rewrite that back to make people understand what I'm here for. You know? Yes. So if you like what we do, which is actually giving a reality, you subscribe. But if you think that we're gonna go over the top always, if we always want Jamaica to win, but be honest, people. If we must be, you must have somewhere where you want people to talk the truth. You understand me? And we are the person we talk the truth and the reality, and you're gonna get a feedback of football overall. So you're gonna know about the next team, and you're gonna learn where the threat's coming from. And if our team is not good enough to get the job done, we are gonna tell you, and we're gonna tell you how long we're gonna try to get the job done in, and maybe which pieces we need. We're gonna always gear that. That is our job here. You get me? Yes, so hopefully you guys totally understand where we're coming from. I'm trying to get the super chat them for everybody. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna get the super chat them because I'm not seeing it right here. I thought that they normally show it to us. Alright, so I'm gonna find the super chat them for the people. So yeah, man. So if you like what we do, definitely subscribe to that. But a lot of you guys subscribed last night. Really much grateful. So keep on doing that, and definitely get the likes up to 250. 250 is the actual aim. Alright, for the video. We're gonna do we have 16 more minutes to go. So 250 is not out of this realm. We have 246 people here, and we're already in 179 likes on the video. So we know that most of you guys never stayed the entire 2 hours, but definitely get it to that. What it does, it helps the visibility. So if you're subscribing, make sure you're becoming a part of the team to actually get involved, to keep on liking the video, keep on sharing the video, and keep on supporting the content so we can push even faster. All right, because you clearly saw once you get the exposure, people see that we do reality, so it's gonna always be better. All right, yeah, man. Yeah, so let me just get a few of the super chats right here. It's too short right there. Yeah, man. It will be liked after. Brain James, thanks for the super chat right there. Said real EPL players needed striker with 0 goals. All right, so Brain Jane doing his foolishness. I don't know where he's coming from. All right, yes, and then we have
Brain Jane, if you get scraps to feed on, that's what's gonna happen, Brain Jane.
We have Lord for a reason says, big up JD Marlon and everyone else. I'm sorry, but I have to say that Jamaica is currently overhyped. Can't be a top team if you can't beat big teams. Okay, so that's what Lord for a reason said. Jamaica is in the overhyped category. Overhyped by the fans. Overhyped by the fans are in general. Let me know, Lord, for a reason. What would you say, Jason and Marlon? You would consider Jamaica as overhyped?
I would say, obviously, it's tough when you say fans overhype their own team because that makes them fans, right? So I'll disregard what the fans say. But as far as pundits, I would say that they got a bit overboard because there were many. And to be honest, some of the programs I saw, I wouldn't call these people necessarily football people, but because names kind of carry weight in America, and I've seen some American programs talking about Jamaica, all they ever reference is the 4 Premier League players, but they're not really analyzing the football game. So in that sense, I will say that even the pundits have been overhyping Jamaica slightly,
Okay.
because coming into the game, they were saying that Mexico should be worried and all these things, and I wasn't really seeing the game that way. My whole concern was not conceding early. So when that goal went in early, I thought it was going to just be a very, very difficult game from that point. But I will say that Jamaica, this version of Jamaica, is slightly overhyped. I agree with that
Okay,
comment.
okay. And Mr. J said yes, we are
But
overhyped by CONCACAF. Okay. All right. Okay. So people saying that we are overhyped. Okay. Wow. Go ahead, Marlon. Go ahead.
but if you said, like, give my example, yesterday, I said when person I said we have the Premier League, I said Mexico player from Barcelona sitting on the bench, not getting a minute in the competition. So we have to remember, so we have quality, but they have quality as well. And I think looking forward, as I said, I don't feel no way because we lose, because this is where I had us going, right? I didn't see us as a team ready yet. And I think one big factor as well, and I said it, I remember I said to you and JD and Jason and JD, that the camp in Austria, I wasn't for it. You're going to play a tournament in the US, most of your players, they play in Europe, they need to come and get acclimatized. I think that's one thing work against us here. Yes, I agree that you couldn't get the games here, the games that you're getting are friendly, so those were probably more feasible from a financial standpoint. But when I was looking from a logistics standpoint, where they adapt for the players to come and really adapt themselves, I didn't see the sense to go to Europe. And if you notice, Panama was in US for how long? Mexico was there for how long? Look at the teams, you know. Those two teams were in the US the longest, right? So the progression that both of them has made, right? You know that Panama and US, basically the weather pattern is almost the same. Apart from US, they get snow, right? So they adapt, they high quality game. So they were much sharper. We play friendly. Top players weren't there, so that was another thing again that worked against us. But as
Marlon, the only thing that I said to that still is, you know, one of the issues why they didn't have the camp in America was, you know, the lack of ability to get a game. So my question to you would be, knowing that the team is kind of new and chemistry and building chemistry and the team pattern of play is something we need to work on, wasn't it better to just have a camp where they would have the chance to actually play games? Or you still would have just take the acclimatization over the ability to play games?
yes, sir, the games were there, but they didn't want to go to South America. The games were there. Remember, I said Uruguay was there as an option, Chile was there as an option, Colombia was there as an option. So, but guess what? I remember Cuba get Uruguay to play because they didn't have Jamaica to fill a spot. Dominica probably play Curacao. Nicaragua they play. Dominica probably play Chile. You saw what's the name again? Nicaragua played them as well. So I think that was one of the main things. But I think the coach was looking. I guess most of the players are here in Europe. It's either to get them here in Austria and we get these two games because Curacao was Qatar was supposed to played Trinidad and something, Trinidad and Costa Rica. But because they said they couldn't play in the friendly game in Florida, they might find another state to play because once and which is total madness. So CONCACAF, as I said, CONCACAF, they need to go and really rethink some of the local rules they come up with. You're playing a tournament and you come in because how many teams went to Qatar to play a friendly game before World Cup start? FIFA didn't tell us, no, you cannot play in Qatar.
Yeah,
So
true.
that was total madness.
So
Right?
JD, you can add that to your list where you sent to CONCACAF. Why the man them can't play practice match in the stadium them before?
Yeah, we're all right. So maybe let's go through the rest of the comments. Says
yeah, but look at it again now, right? The quarter the semi of the Nation League Las Vegas in a Levi Stadium, right? In a something in a league. Panama played it, Canada played there, US played there, Mexico played there. Right? Then I get acclimatized. And the stadium was gonna be so it in a matchup.
all right.
So
All right, finish up with Marlon. Because remember, we'll come back later. We'll come back later. You know? We'll come back later. So don't. Yeah. All right. So Noah says, I'm big up JD. Which midfield do you want in Jamaica Reggae Boys for Nations League going forward? Like which midfield we would go for? Marlon, you know, match up a midfield amount or how much midfielders you would bring for the next next tournament? Like how much you would have added?
Whether it's 50 or 60%, I think these two names, once KC Palmer 70% and Rebels 50%, there are two persons gonna be crucial. The person that Jamaica said they don't want to play for them, once he's available and he make himself available for me, I welcome him with two arms. Isaac Hayden, Louis Baker. These are two persons, and that's why I said who needs more? Does Jamaica need Isaac Hayden more than Isaac Hayden need Jamaica? And we're basically seeing it now, right? We're basically seeing it right now. And I think the coach will really think not gonna be what the fans think. He know what he needs to do, and I think he's gonna find this player anyway. Once the players make him commit himself to Jamaica, right? He's gonna go and get him. He don't really care about the backlash on the fans. His ultimate goal is where 2026.
Okay. For me, I would say 5-6 midfielders I would put back in. KC Palmer is needed for Jamaica. KC Palmer is a very good player that I think most of us never even looked at, you know. So KC Palmer would be on that list of players that I would put back in. Ravel, we have to figure a way to get Ravel in if we can't get other things completed. So KC Palmer, Ravel, Daniel Johnson, I would have added on my list. John Russell would get back an opportunity, but we would have to give John Russell some information what he needs to do coming back. You get me? What he needs to fulfill before you get him on the list. Lambert, I would see if I would have Lambert on my list. But if we get a defensive central, I would only use one. So if we get my boy, as what you said, coming in as a defensive central, I wouldn't pick Lambert. But if we don't get him, Lambert would have gone back on my list. So I would go with 6 midfielders, 6 central midfielders. I would want 6 central midfielders. To hell with these bagger forwards. You get me? Whisper and Kaim Paris wouldn't be back in my list at this point. Jamal Lowe, if we have to check him to see what he's doing, and if we get my boy from Arsenal, which is Reece Nelson, I wouldn't put Jamal Lowe on the list. So it would be a Reece Nelson alone, and then the other front 4 players then. But Whisper and Paris wouldn't be back in my team at this point. I would have put more midfielders in it. All right, because they got their opportunity. They get 7 games to showcase what they have to have. We need some of the midfielders to get some opportunity, so we know our squad in total. Because that's what I'm trying to force our squad in total. So we get everyone getting games. So we have them not just on paper, but actually having experience in the national team, and they will plan it ahead. And I think it's time for KC Palmer. You get me? And Hutchinson would have added to my list. Yeah, Hutchinson would have been added to my list as a midfielder, not a wide player. As a midfielder, he would have to come in the team as. All right? Yes, so Hutchinson would have been added to the list if we can get him. Yes. No. It's a long term, you know, people. Listen to my wording. When I say Whisper and Paris out, it's a long term. We can have a limited amount of players in the team, so we have to take out players to put in other players. You get me? And a good amount of players coming out, and then we put in the other guys them. Don't think we are fight against nobody. You get me? We are take out players to fit the other man them in. So when we're ready to go to World Cup qualifiers, we actually know what we are doing. We don't want to reach World Cup qualifiers and then we don't have a clue what we are doing. We still have pick new players for coming at the team. 4 or 5 new players. So people, we just drop aside our ego and then we see the reality. Me I tell you now. Yeah, sorry Marlon and Jason. I never hear Jason take on it.
No, I agree totally. I agree totally with the midfield needing boosting. We always loading up the team with forwards and wingers and wing forwards and stuff, and I think the midfield stays light. So like and I think in this Gold Cup, perhaps it was just it came a little quick for the people that want to play first and everything, because you know I still believe, though I know the coach put his foot down and everything, but Ravel Morrison was a huge miss for us in this World Cup. I think anybody that didn't see that, you know, I don't know what you're watching. You could see whenever there was a ball handler beside Latibo there, the team played better in every instance. DJ coming on in the double pivot, it looked better. Even Bobby Reed dropping to midfield yesterday, the team was connecting the passes through the channels a lot better in the second half. Still booting it too much, but they did it more often in the second half. So I think once the coach finds that perfect balance, I like the energy and the work rate from Latibo there, but I don't know that his completion of pass is enough right now to really hold on that role forever, right? I love his work rate. I love what the energy he brings. I love how many shots in block and tackles in make. But I think the next step in their development is finding a player that can do all of those things, plus keep the ball a little better, ball
Yes.
retention. So,
But Big
go
Boss,
ahead.
that's why I said if I add him on the list, one of the right backs I'm coming out, Because him a go a right back,
Absolutely, I
Latibody
agree.
are go back a right back,
I agree.
I saw it a
Totally.
go,
I
yes,
agree totally.
and a next player come in. So
I
and I
agree
just
totally.
whisper and my boy Kaim Paris alone me that drop. Me I drop a lot of players, but me I tell you how we take out the players and put in other players. That's the difference.
Put in.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we have a list of players, and if we are bringing 4 or 5 more players, we can't add more. If you have the 23 players here, and then you have 4 or 5 more players added, you not have to take out somebody out of the 23. So that's the whole point, people. We have to get more.
Yeah, man. Now look on it, JD. Imagine if all right, just I play devil's advocate. If Ravel got a Gold Cup, right? You can say, okay, you have Lambert and Russell at CDM, and you have DJ Ravel as the ball handler them, and then you can play Latibo there right back, and maybe you sacrifice one of the right back them on the actual list. So you have a little more midfield stability, you have another ball handler, and you're not sacrificing nothing, because if you're being totally honest, Latibo there is a better right back than 2 man them that we bring. So it's not like we're losing anything if we did it that way.
Yes, agreed. Brainjin said, can we find one striker that score goals anywhere? This is just this time. This is just this time. I think if the system improves, the strikers then will score goals. You know?
I want you to look at the quality of chance we create, Brain Drain. You cannot just be so matter of fact, no goals. You have to look, brother. Henry Martin got a ball inside the 6-yard box to control and pass
Created by
Antonio don't come anywhere close to getting anything like that in this tournament, nothing.
And it was created by his team. Gallardo gone over, and you clearly saw what Pineda doing. Marlon explained Pineda role perfectly. He doesn't have the speed as Antonio over the next side, but he has the creativity. So he cuts in, and then Gallardo just go behind him with his speed, and they double up and they go killing us over that right hand side, their left hand side, right hand side.
No, I never got to talk to you guys, but I just want to say, on that play, what amazed me is, yes, we had an attacking set piece, right? Which obviously is going to be a little vulnerable to the counter. But my problem with it was, when we crossed the ball and it got cleared into the air, Bobby Reed and Javine go for the seam ball, make a mistake. Now, in that instant, Bobby Reed is in front of Javine. So Javine is looking at the play. I know him go just run to the ball. Bobby Reed misjudge it slightly, buck it, and it go up in the air, and the two of them hit up each other. Now, after that, how is it that Bobby Reed is the man that blocked the cross or tried to block the cross? Where was everybody else? Gallardo and Pineda are running down the left. There's not a Jamaican man in sight.
And remember, the ball is coming from the opposite wing.
The right side. The right side, and I'm seeing the 2 streakers on the left, and I'm saying,
right now.
Where is our team? Where is our team? The man who fall down in our attacking half, trying to clear a ball, is him get up and run past everybody, run past even Lambert, who did the closest, and push Lambert out of the way to go try block.
Glad you actually watched the play again. And people say effort. People say man not have the effort. When me look on it, I say, what in the world is this?
I said, Bobby Reed, I don't know how you can fall down in the first part of the transition, in your own half, and you get up and contest the cross from the other side.
Yes. It was madness, man.
That just means that the other man them a jog, and it's like they never realized the game start. I couldn't believe How we
But
concede that
Marlon
goal?
said, no, but really and truly, if the first whipping cross was controlled, it maybe would have been a goal eventually, reality. But the angle looked a little bit slant. So I said maybe if we actually
Well,
if they won the first ball, it might not score. It might not score. It's the actual ball that goes over and missed. That's why I thought that it actually scored, because they got it under more control coming in.
yeah, so here why that goal score. Because if the man them on the field was just bossing them forget back, them two man they were end up on the back post and streak, they're not so free. So the man can't address the ball, push it, look up 17 minutes, and then cross the ball.
Agreed.
The man them was just hoping that the man them back would clear the ball instead of just running back. And you saw the difference when Jamaica countered at any point. The man them a run back like it's a race them a run. And that is the difference. Them little thing there.
So,
you have to run back as fast as possible, brother.
yeah, the effort was just not there, basically. Then the effort was not there. Bridget said Gray is a top player, 2 assists and best on target chance in games, and that matters. USA, Guatemala, Mexico. The rest are role players. Jesus God, Bridget. All right, yeah man. That's why I'm saying people who watch the game 2 times or so. We're gonna come back later. Because I've gone 2.5 hours. We have not even hit 200 likes on the video, so clearly we never want your reality, so even though we don't always do it for likes on the video, yeah. But I still think, by respect, we like the likes on the video to show that, yeah, we don't appreciate the show, but clearly we don't appreciate nothing. I'll be a foolish this 1 year and a years. Yeah, but I agree, brother. We have to work hard. We have to work hard. First thing, we have to look like we want to be on the field with these guys. The next guys, Mexico look like they wanted to be on the field. Period. All right, they look like they wanted to be on the field. Period. We don't look like we just want to play our game and people sit down and roll over by our names on the paper. But one thing I tell you, just as I always said, United States will have a learning lesson, Jason, by them stop picking them second team, because them not going to win all of them tournament anymore. I think Jamaica learned a lesson yesterday that you put the play them on the field is not a easy rollover. Guatemala don't fear Jamaica. Guatemala ball the rass out of Jamaica, and Mexico did the same. You get me? So it's not going to work. You have to come out and want to fight. So anybody who wants to come and play for Jamaica, you have to come and fight.
There's another.
You get me?
Yeah, JD. I think for any greatness to happen, sacrifice have to happen, right? And I think Jamaica's sacrifice moving forward is you cannot always have that front 4. We need to change that to a 3, and we get more balance in the midfield with a 3. That's the only way I see change. And that's the next phase of the development, right? Because as Marlon was saying, the players that the coach was using for his system for Iceland, we cannot recreate that here. We don't have the Goodmanson and Heiderson or whatever his name is. We don't have those same type of players in the midfield, right? So for that reason, an extra person will stem the tide better. And that way we don't get overloaded by these Central American teams who play with 2 in midfield, but all of their attacking players drop to add to the midfield when they have possession. Our forwards tend to stay higher up the pitch and don't add the bodies in midfield. So if they're not going to do that, just put an extra body there so that you have 3 options instead of 2. When we play these high-pressing teams, it's not route 1 football all the time, and we're not cussing the forwards because they're feeding on scraps. Anytime we tried to build through the channels, the team looked better. But we just didn't have the confidence or the bodies to do it consistently. That is the next phase. That's where we need to get to.
All right. So Shadow Striker said, Guatemala never ball we out. All right, I will just go and listen to what the coach says, and we're pretty much done with that. All right, yeah. And Mark Davis said, thank God you're not the coach. I wouldn't want to be the coach, because I would tell people reality, something that a lot of these players don't like to hear. You understand me? Yes, so I'm glad I'm not the coach. All right, so people, another good one. Marlon, thanks very much. You're going to give a final point, and everyone that came on, thanks very much.
Yeah,
so Marlon, give a final point. Yeah, because I'm going to try buy some food on the road,
Yeah, man. So one positive again, they didn't give away the ball. Give them the free chance like what they give to Guatemala. That's the biggest positive I see that came out of the game. And another thing about this,
Marlon, What you mean when Damien Lowe give the ball? And we have to make a block. You know, remember the one where Damien Lowe tried to dribble out?
Yeah,
And between three man and the man take it
I
from
get
him
what you mean.
and go in there for the strike. And I must say, Deshaun Bernard slide pan him face to click it. Marlon, you miss it.
Remember say,
You miss it, Marlon.
remember say the on the Blake. That's a different giveaway. Right? They lose the ball at treasure. Remember say the one on the flank against Guatemala and
me know what
No,
Marlon, but that one
Marlon, him
are
a talk
still
about the
inside
one
the
on
18
top
yard
of the
box,
18.
inside at 18
Marlon,
yard
him a talk about the
him
one.
gateway as well. And you tell us a
Yeah,
last
man, the one
that
where him
dangerous
beat
to
the
man,
man.
Marlon, man. It's dangerous.
The first man run in and him beat him. And then him have the pass them for play and him decide to try beat the next one as well and
Yeah,
lose
man,
it.
Marlon, go back
Yeah,
the
man,
look,
me
go
know
back
the
the look,
play that
Marlon,
time.
man. Him give you a next one again, man.
In the
Damien Lowe is
first
a
half.
boy, I mean, I know. Him gateway people go back.
But another thing, JD, even the giveaways that aren't on top of our 18, those long balls are a giveaway, you know. Because the ball right on top of the box in about 5 minutes, 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
But Jason, it's the same thing I said the cranky this while. We must know and revert to the kicking route one, kick it down there. If Mikel Antonio catch you, so cause guess what? Pass the ball to low to Javen Brown to Lambert back to low, back to Javen Brown, and guess what?
Yes.
Then they come back again. Low to Bernard Bell, come back to low, go back long again. Right? You know, say we can't beat the two man in the midfield. You know? They didn't lose the ball 10 times.
Yeah, but Marlon, how much time them have the ball to lose the ball 10 times?
Right? And they overrun. And that's how I say this. I said it doesn't matter if it's Russell beside Latibody or Johnson. What Johnson have been, he'd have handled the ball better. But you have 3 outnumbering 2. Right? Two, one CDM, one box to box, and you have an attacking midfielder there. Right? So the attacking midfielder come right between the two of them. And so them already in a trouble already. Then the two box to box man who play defense and attack come on, and then they have the wingers. So when and that's the thing. And I said the two key players for Mexico would have been Chavez and Gallardo. Right? And I tell JT, I say I hope Jamaica not give enough give them a free no complimentary free kick. The man ask one for the whole tournament.
Whenever somebody have a good shot and they get an attempt in the run of play right before them get a free kick, it's always problems, you know. And if you remember, there was a giveaway by Bernard on the left side and a cross came in and Bernard couldn't really get anything on the header and it come to the top of 18 and then just put it wide. And I said to my father right after that play, I said, Daddy, you see, if Bernard get a next opportunity on top of the box today, he might go score because he just get him compass right there. So. And 5 minutes later, we give it the free kick and him score.
All right.
What remember saying no? But the free kick tee up for Penny that right now. And he still demand say man kick it though. That's why I make the goal even better though. And if you guys remember,
yeah, that's a right foot shot normally, yes.
Where Messi come off a bench can score a hat trick against Panama, right? When he kick one, he score on USA too. Kick one free kick from we almost at the D. We pass up there, pass Bargoza like rocket. Right? And I say for the ball put them on. Me there Charlie, me say boy be 2-0, you know. I must say what I mean by 2-0. Me say the someone I beg for one the whole tournament, man. You might get them 30 yard out, 40 yards out, I might keep them so.
Finally and get one in a range.
Yeah, and he embarrassed me. He embarrassed me. He make me look at me a big idiot, you know, because me cost him the whole tournament.
Yeah, man. When you're
I said, and him come and play against Jamaica. No, me a cuss him how long, you know, and know him come against Jamaica and do what me a cuss him for.
Yeah, man. But guess what? You see one in crossing the box. The second one when get over on the left hand side. That middle him power if it through, but he go for the cross.
Yeah, I think if him never have a goal in the game, he probably go for that shot the same way, you know. But I show him score when I read man.
So Brian Mighty says, JD, you don't love Jamaican folks if you want us to endure that heartache twice. We now watch back the game. No, but the only way we're gonna know about the mistakes them and how we can improve. Brian, remember say you talk football to you, Brian. So we want you to watch it so when we come back later, we can chop it up even in more in depth, you know? Yeah, so that more the people watch it back from. You know, we know the score already, but also want to see where we can improve and then watch the
Yeah, man.
Guatemala
Just
game.
document the play.
Watch the
then.
Guatemala game
Oh,
as
no.
well because people claim that what we tell you because remember I use the Guatemala game to tell us say Mexico can come better than them with the same system, but them does better at everything. So
They are a
no,
better version.
that's why me are going for 3
Yeah.
goals for Mexico and 2 for Jamaica because I thought that we were gonna get some breaks and Mexico maybe it go down to the final and be close, but Jamaica never turn up on the attacking end. You get me? Yes. So go back and watch the Guatemala game, people. If we fool ourselves if we think that we are the better team in the Guatemala game, lie we are tell, brother. Lie where I tell it was and the coach said it himself, said it was a 50-50 game. They had more energy than us, but I'm not gonna run it, people. We have to go now. Thanks yet again for everybody to chop in. Later we will try our best to come back. Put this video at 300 likes and we'll come back in the night. Alright? Yeah, man. So people take care. Jason, Marlon, best of yourself. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man. Respect, JD.
Alright, yeah. So we're gonna come back.
Big up, Marlon.
Yeah, just.
I sleep off my face. I never see it from earth. I'm just jump on and rise up, you know?